By a distance, it's the game of the season so far. Hearts have won 7 out of 7 in the SPL. Will their impressive record still be intact by the time September ends?
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends.
No, it's not a dream, and if Hearts win again, Rangers will drop 11 points behind. They've already slipped up at Aberdeen and at Falkirk and at home to Hibs. Rangers' determination to win will make this surely the biggest test so far for the league leaders. Eight points between Hearts and Rangers after only a couple of months of the season is not unusual, only it would normally be the Tynecastle team which was playing catch-up. This time it's Rangers who are lagging behind a Hearts side which has sprinted out of the blocks and picked up a perfect 21 points so far. Hearts against Rangers kicks off in just under an hour. For old Jambos, the league table has rarely looked better than it does at the moment. Not since the Premier League came into being in 1975 have a team out with the old firm won their first 8 games. Hearts have the chance to do just that today. Questions. Does George Burley's hastily assembled United Nations lineup have the staying power required to be serious title contenders? Can the defending champions reassert themselves after a stuttering start to the domestic season? We'll do the answers later with the help of two men who don't exactly hold back when asked for their opinions. Craig Burley and Ian McCall are here. Craig, arguably, this is the biggest game in Britain today. We are looking for answers. Can we safely ignore Hearts' defeat at Livingston in the Cup in midweek when half a side was out? And can they go the distance?
I think the answer is yes. We can't ignore the defeat because the team was much changed, rested a few players. I believe they can go the distance because I believe Celtic and Rangers is not as strong as they were. Other teams are improving and Hearts are the most improved team in the SPL. Yes, they've brought players in, but you've got to give credit to their manager as well, who's got them organised, got them playing in a proper manner, creating chances, scoring goals. And you have to say the bookies have got Rangers down as the favourites today. I don't see it that way. I think Hearts are favourites. I think if both teams play to their strengths today, we've got a real game in our hands here.
Rangers have hit highs, Ian, undoubtedly this season. They beat Famagusta home and away. They've beaten Porto in the Champions League itself. They've won the Old Firm game. But they've also hit some lows, haven't they? And even their most ardent supporters would say they're not convinced so far.
Well, I think defensively they've not been convincing since the start of the season. But Alec hasn't had a settled team. He's made a lot of changes. I've saw the last 2 games and he wants to be very poor in midweek against Clyde. Could have been knocked out of that cup. And it'll be interesting to see whether he brings Andrews into the team because certainly the central defence pairings so far haven't been convincing at all.
We'll get the teams to you shortly, but these are worrying pictures pretty much for the Hearts supporters with Julien Brellier, the French holding midfielder, going through a fitness check ahead of the match. But Craig, the news is that he's almost certain to play, even though he's not anywhere near 100%.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Jos Burley down on the pitch 30 or 40 minutes ago, and he said Brellier was 50-50. He's got a problem with his calf, a kick in his calf last week, but he's such an important player for them. Jos really thinks a lot of this boy, and he's did a great job in the holding role in there that he's going to take a chance on him today. We see him jogging around there, and they're going to take a risk and they're going to play him.
He does the ugly work, doesn't he? And he lets others like Hartley and Scatchell play in front.
He does, but I tell you, that's a real risk because, you know, the tempo of this game today from the first whistle will be everybody going hell for leather, so his calf's going to have to be
Maybe
right.
his answer though was, who else would he have played in there?
Well,
because Neil McFarlane's not available.
Yeah, well, Neil McFarlane would have been the one to go in there. He does that, he sits and, you know, and protects the back four, but obviously he's not fit, so it is a problem, but I tell you, I think that's a gamble.
So, Brellier is struggling, but will play. Kilmarnock, Hibs, Dundee United, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Livingston and Inverness. All 7 have tried and failed since the season began to halt the Hearts bandwagon.
That's a very good throw into the box. There's Naismith with a chance. He's done it! The equaliser! Over the line, goal by Bednar. He's going to let fly again, and he does. It's a superb goal. Lovely ball played in there. It's Gordon Greer. Penalty stands, and I make it a couple of minutes of the game left. Will it be jubilation? Yes.
Chance now for Hearts. It's got to go in this time. Hearts had the lead. It's Ronald Scatchell who scored. And the penalty kick has been given. Hartley against Markowski. Deadly finish again. Hearts a 2-goal lead. There's the third from Stephen Simmons. Oh, that's number 4. Markowski completely deceived. It's a gala day for Hearts.
It's in the back of the net. And it's Stephen Presley. Now here's Bednar, 2-0. And it's Rudy Skaichel. Rudy Skaichel makes it 3-0 and puts the icing on the cake for George Burley's side.
Jankowski almost gets it through. This must be a chance. It's a goal. Scatchell comes in again. Oh, what a brilliant goal! Virtually out of nothing. And Rudy Scatchell makes it 5 goals in 5 games for Hearts. Jankauskas! And the points are surely safe now. Well, Jim Hamilton, and it's a penalty given against Julian Brellier. Richie Foran for 2-1.
Good ball in, that's Hartley. Must be a goal. And it's Rudy Scatchell again. A very good ball. It's simply not at home by Andy Webster. Dreadful defending. Hartley waits in the centre. This must be the third. Devastating play from Hearts on the counter-attack. Oh, that's terrific goalkeeping too. But it's turned in. It broke off Gordon. Livingston has scored. Paul Dalglish has knocked in the rebound. It's a penalty kick to Hearts. 4-1 to Hearts. And surely now they've really overcome any resistance from Livingston.
It's a shot through. Hearts have scored. Would you believe Catchell again?
Let's start answering some of those questions. This is the Hearts team, which will kick off against Rangers this afternoon. 5 changes, not surprisingly, to the team which lost at Livingston in the CIS Cup in midweek. So back in come the big boys, Fisas, Brelier, who we saw undergoing that fitness check just a short time ago. Skatchel is back in, looking to make it 8 and 8. Jankauskas and Bednar are back up front as well. And the big decision for George Burley to make, apart from Brelier, was he's picked Samuel Camatsola, the Brazilian, who he hadn't seen play when he turned up here to sign for Hearts. He is preferred on the right side of midfield to Jamie McAllister.
Yeah, I don't think George is entirely convinced about Camazola, but he's he's struggling in that position. He hasn't got a great strength and depth there. Mikalunas has not been performing. The back four picks itself, they've been excellent for him. Speaking to George earlier, talking about the Scottish boys on his side, Webster, Presley, Gordon, Hartley, they've been tremendous for them, and the foreign lads have come in and fitted in well. Skatchel's been the man, but Brelier, who we've seen having the fitting test, as you said, Rob, has been doing the ugly work, and you need that in your team for the likes of Skatchel and Hartley to perform.
And all managers obviously look for balance in the team, don't they? And maybe George Burley feels that Camatsola is more attuned to the right side than left-footed Jamie McAllister, obviously.
Yeah, maybe, but I think the key one is, that we've said before, is Brelier. The way Hartley plays, you have to have a player like that sitting there, because Hartley, even more so this season, has bombed into the forward areas. He does it 5-6 times every half. So you need somebody sitting there, and Camazola, whether he's the answer, time will tell, but I don't think he wants to play a left-sided player on the right in terms of balance of the team.
Rangers are here. Alec McLeish stressing during the week that nothing is won in September. There's a long way to go, but one other thing is certain, and that is that Rangers do not want to fall 11 points behind Hearts, and that is what would happen were Hearts to win here this afternoon. Alec McLeish having to deal with probing questions already, and that's before Scott Booth. Sote Kyriakos arriving, Ronald Vatras, who's had to be in such strong form at the start of the season. Olivier Bernard has been pitched straight in as well to the big games, which keep on coming for Nacho Novo and company. So let's check on how Rangers will start. 5 changes for Hearts, 5 changes for Rangers as well from the team which struggled to get through in the Cup in midweek against Clyde. Back in come Rickson, Ferguson, Rodriguez, Namucci and Prisho. Out, Young Lowing, who did well at right back in midweek. Bob Malcolm goes, Thomas Buffel, Jeffers is out, and Lovenkrantz as well. So the big mystery about that lineup, when you look at the players, Rodriguez is there, Andrews is there, Kyriakos is there. Is it a back 3?
Well, it looks like a back 3. The big question is who'll play in the middle of it. I know Marvin Andrews, when he played at Livingston, played in the centre of a back 3, but I think he may well go for Kyriakos in there. It's a gamble, but I think they've been threatening to play a back 3 at the start of the season, because things obviously in the defensive areas haven't been right.
Was that in the mission, Ian, and it's not working for him, the players that he's brought in?
Well, it may well be, but if they win the game today, he'll not really be that bothered.
I've warned you about doing questions, by the way.
Well, what about Rodriguez? Right, I mean, Fan on the bench again, so he doesn't fancy him. Andrews, much castigated at times by not being good enough to be a Rangers player. All of a sudden, Rangers fans are calling him to come back in, and he always does a good job for them. But he's got a few permutations that he can use within his squad here. But it'll be interesting to see how Alex sees this game going.
Well, what's been a feature, of course, this season, as Rangers have struggled eventually, is that the shape and the personnel has changed almost constantly.
Well, you're never going to ever run a games with victories if you change the team around. All good teams, they're settled. And Alec has changed the back 4 and in particular, a football team needs their back 4 needs to be solid and needs to stay the same throughout the season. And they've never had that yet. Maybe my only worry is playing Oliver Bernard as a left wing back. I saw him the other night and he looks well short of fitness. And if you're playing left wing back properly, you're up and down that pitch for 90 minutes. That's a tough role to play.
But he's also, in terms of the striking position, Rob, he's got Puzzo there and maybe Novo today up alongside him, or Novo could play on a wide position, but that always seems to be changing. Don't forget how many goals these guys scored last season. 40 odd, 50 goals between them. And they've not really had a settled partnership. Jeffers had come in, looked short of fitness, it has to be said. Puzzle's played up front in his own, so he's not really got a balance in the striking department as well as at the back. The only place it's looked decent for him, I think, at the start of the season is in midfield, where Ferguson's been good. And Murray has been the star signing for them for me. You know, player that's came in with not a big reputation, and he's worked his socks off in several different positions. He's been, for me, the key man from this season.
I think you know what you're getting from Ian Murray. His work ethic's tremendous. He's maybe not the most gifted player in the world, but he gives it everything. That's why the Rangers supporters have taken him to their hearts already.
But if Jeffers is short of matches, do you not just keep on playing him? If you decide he and Purcell looks like a blossoming partnership, do you not keep going with it?
It's a big risk to play him if he's short a match back to playing a game like this. Because whatever anybody says, I still fancy Rangers and Celtic, one of them will win the title. But if Rangers get beaten today, 11 points, I know we're not out of September yet, but that's a lot to make up.
Well, we've got plenty to talk about. I'm sure you do as well. It's the biggest game of the Scottish season so far. Vladimir Romanov has ploughed in his money to put Hearts where they are at the moment. That's top of the league. 21 points out of 21. Can they make it? 8 wins on the bounce. Can they make Rangers suffer? You'll find out soon.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your roll car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
Bring the drama, passion, skill and action of football on Setanta Sports to your business and get your name in front of hundreds of thousands of our sports-minded viewers. We've got advertising packages tailored to suit your business needs. So to advertise on Setanta, simply call 0207 287 3388. Put your company into a winning position. Call 0207 287 3388.
I shouldn't be here. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Thanks to Cancer Research UK, thousands of people are here today who wouldn't have survived 10 years ago.
He shouldn't be here. But now doctors can cure cancers like his.
Our research into preventing, treating and curing cancer has enabled thousands of people to survive. We make important advances all the time.
My dad should be here.
But we still need to do much more. That's why it's so important you call 0800 035 9000 and donate £2 a month.
My mum should be here.
Please help our doctors and scientists find more ways to keep people here. Call 0800 035 9000 and donate just £2 a month to Cancer Research UK before the end of the break.
Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
It's become a more and more fascinating fixture, this one, with each passing week. SPL leaders Hearts, in their 7 wins out of 7, haven't tackled the Old Firm so far. Until today, Rangers are at Tynecastle to find out if the home team here are serious pretenders to their crown. Hearts against Rangers is a 12:30 kick-off. So less than 40 minutes away. And here ahead of the big match is the Hearts manager, George Burley, speaking with Scott Booth.
George, one of the positive aspects to come out of the Livingston defeat that you'll be taking a little bit more seriously now when you emphasise the need to strengthen your squad?
Well, I think with any season you look at it, you look at the way things are going, and we've had an unbelievable start to win our first 7 league games. But as I say, we're in very early stages about rebuilding the squad, and we're coming from a position where last season, the club were 42 points behind Old Firm. And we've improved immensely, but we've still got a long way to go. But we're looking forward to the game today, and to win your first 7 league games, it's been incredible.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it a timely reminder to your players that under par performances will be punished?
No, I mean, it's not a reminder. You're not going to win every game. And we had, 7 first-team squad members out, and that's going to weaken any team. But we're not kidding ourselves. There's a long way to go. The squad's done unbelievable well so far, but we're very much in the early stages. But the spirit's fantastic, and we'll be giving it our best shot today.
Is it your biggest test so far?
Well, I mean, Rangers are league champions. They've proved that one of the top teams in Europe by beating Porto 2 weeks ago. It's going to be a big challenge, but I don't think anything will be decided at all. It's so early, whether we win or Rangers win. It's it's early doors, but it's great to have such an interest from all over Europe for a match in Scotland.
Of course, you will be keen to see what the reaction your players will give you after that first defeat.
I know what the reaction they'll get. I don't even need to think about it because they're a great lad. They do it every day in training, they work hard, they've got a great spirit, so I've got no any question marks about them.
People will be looking to see if you're going to fall short against the Old Firm. What do you expect today?
Well, I know it's going to be tough. I think on paper Rangers are the favourites when you look at the quality players they've got. But so far this season we have done unbelievable well. And we're at home, capacity crowd, we're top of the league, we're 8 points above Rangers. So it should be an interesting game.
We're able to field a more or less full-strength team today, but are there still a couple of players carrying some knocks?
Well, I mean, Julian Brelia and Faces had fitness tests this morning. A little bit gamble playing them because they haven't trained all week, but they're very key players. So we'll start with them, and hopefully they manage to, we do the 90 minutes.
You've said that your squad is not yet strong enough to finish above Rangers Celtic for the title, but you must fancy your chances in these one-off games.
Well, I think one-off games anybody can win. It's at the end of the season where squads and quality tells. But we've enjoyed it so far, and the reaction from the fans have been unbelievable. And as I say, I think it's great for Scottish football, and everybody's speaking about it. Even in England, there's so much talk about it, and that can only be good for Scotland.
George, all the best today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
In some ways, George Burley has the best job in Scottish football with the availability of Vladimir Romanov's money, Craig. But in some ways, it's not ideal either because sometimes he doesn't get to spend it.
Well, Mr. Romanov's got his own ideas, it has to be said. And whilst George Burley has done a fantastic job so far, you have to say, and at Ipswich he did, at Derby he did, and so far at Hearts he's doing the same. But there's that wee man upstairs wielding the big axe, and I'm afraid while he's up there, anything's
the big wallet and the big axe.
The big wallet, the big axe. George has to keep winning, Hearts have to keep winning, and George knows that.
Is George Burley thinking, Ian, if I can get to January and still even be in contention at the top, then maybe there's the opportunity to get out and spend some more money, improve the depth of the squad?
Well, I mean, right at this minute, he'll only be thinking of one thing and getting 3 points. But yeah, I think he will. I agree with Craig. I think that Romanov's axe will be every bit as big as his wallet. I think if they don't keep winning and they fall behind Celtic Rangers, then he'll be an unhappy man. That's unfair, but that's football. But he will be trying to get to within, even if he's within 2 or 3 points of the Old Firm or on top, then they'll be able to go out and sign maybe 2 or 3 players because they are short. I think there's a big difference between their starters and the players that come in.
And manager-chairman relationships are usually so straightforward.
I had a fantastic chairman at the D9, he was great.
OK, enough of that. 8 points spilled in 7 games so far. It's not exactly the form you would expect of defending champions. Rangers have got off to a sticky start.
Good play by Lovenkrantz. Oh, that's terrific play. Rangers are top of the league.
Danny Ferguson opens the scoring for Rangers.
Reminds me of Anderson, he scored! Outstanding striking by Steve Lovell. Purcell's header, they're back in the match. That's a wonderful goal by Lowenkrantz. It's a collector's item. Hefty collision there, there's going to be a problem here. Another car is out. And Fernando Rickson is ordered off. Back out to Jamie Smith. Oh, that's a fantastic finish by Jamie Smith. It's a red card for Alan Thompson. Wow, what about that? That's not a bad ball. It's a fine finish by Daniel Purcell. Buffel did brilliantly. Superb play by Buffel. It's a classic from Thomas Buffel. That's a penalty kick, clear penalty kick. Beautifully taken by the youngster. There's Purcell now. Penalty kick it is. That should clinch it for Rangers. Neil Lennon has lost the plot in the middle. Neil Lennon is going to be red carded, I think. He's lost the plot totally.
And I think he's scored, he has. Hips have opened the scoring. Away goes Brown, that's excellent play, he's got pace as well. Lowenkrantz on the chase. Brown still there, that's good play. And that's a beautiful second goal by Sproul. He's still in there, Sproul. It's going to be number 3, it's a hat-trick. Comes in, can't get his shot in, and it's a penalty. Justin, the goalkeeper guessed right. That's a decent ball in there, it's a goal, it's equaliser. Lowenkrantz to the byline, it's a badly timed challenge, and it's a penalty kick. Daniel Purcell, who's done little wrong for Rangers so far this season. And the trend continues. Lead off by Lowenkrantz for Barry Ferguson. 2-0. The reverse pass to Barry Ferguson. It's number 3. And it's an own goal this time, turned in by Gordon Greer.
A Rangers win today and they cut the gap at the top to 5 points. A Rangers defeat and they are 11 points adrift. Here is the Rangers manager, Alec McLeish, with Scott Booth.
Alex, there are going to be several real crunch games for you in the SPL this season. Is today already one of them?
Yeah, just like it was at this stage last season. It's another crunch game, but we have done well in the big games this season. And it's another big test and challenge for us, and I would like to think the players can respond to that again.
What sort of added pressure is there with the points difference going into this one?
Well, there was added pressure last season when we were 7 behind Celtic at this stage and we coped, so I don't see any reason why we can't cope this season.
So how premature is it to say that if you don't win today, there'll be no title for Rangers?
Just the same reason that when we were at this stage last season, there was a title for Rangers. and people were saying the same things. It's you know, probably looking for something to change from the same old predictions than last year. People get egg in their face, and we hope we can do that again to them this season.
So you see it in a more positive way, that it's a chance again to chalk up an important victory and continue the momentum that you've had over the last few weeks?
Well, we have played well in the big games, and there have been some of the smaller games where we've let ourselves down, no doubt about that, and the players know that. But I think in every major challenge that we've had this season, I don't say disregard the rest of the teams, that sounds disrespectful, but we have risen to the challenge of the Champions League. Maybe in Famagusta a wee bit lucky at times, but otherwise I think we deserve to be where we are in the Champions League.
Now, you've used 25 different players this season so far. How important is it for you to try and field a consistent lineup?
Well, unfortunately, Jose Mourinho can use 25 players and get away with it every week, but I can't, and I'm looking for players I'm throwing the gauntlet down to players and say, you can't leave me out of the team. That's why it's been difficult to say, well, he's an out-and-out first choice, he's an out-and-out first choice, because I still have been tossing a coin in many positions, and I've had many dilemmas thrown up in front of me because I'm looking for players to hit peak form.
Is today still a case of tinkering around with it a little bit, maybe with the formation as well today?
Tinkering, I think
trying to get the right balance.
You try to get the right balance, but I believe the personnel we've got is ideal for today's game.
Alec, thanks very much. All the best.
Cheers, Scott.
He knows how important it is, and so do they. The Rangers players limbering up ahead of kick-off. No great margin for error, I wouldn't have thought, when you're 8 points behind. And although Alec was talking there, Craig, about this being a similar crunch match to when Rangers came here last September, they weren't 8 points behind that time.
Oh, they're certainly under a great deal of pressure today. I mean, I don't believe for 1 minute if they lose today, the league's over. I mean, they showed last season that they can come back. I think all the teams are going to drop points. The only ones that haven't so far are Hearts, who they play today. But Alex knows he has to get the balance right in his team, and I think it's a fair assessment to say that they haven't performed anywhere near how Alex knows they can this season. They've not been at their best, and they're going to have to start today. Sometimes
it's difficult in dovetailing domestic fixtures with European. I mean, there's got to be that thought for everybody in the back of their minds about a visit to the San Siro in midweek, but there's no way that a fraction of concentration can be taken away from this.
No, not at all. You know, always referring to the Champions League, I don't think does them any good, because you know they're not going to get in that again unless they do as well in the SPL as they did last season, and they're becoming ever more reliant on Purzo Murray and Dado Purzo, who've been outstanding, but nobody else has picked up the gauntlet. And Alex saying there about the boys that have come in, I've seen 2 or 3 of their games, and the guys that have come in haven't grabbed the jersey, and that's, as a manager, that's what you want. They want to come in and then they're not back out the team.
Kick-off in the big match is fast approaching. We're about to hear from 2 of today's key players. Ian Murray has an answer for those who thought he would be no more than a backup player at Rangers. And keeper Craig Gordon is number 1 with Hearts and Scotland, no questions asked. We'll talk to him next.
If you need to borrow money, then you should talk to specialists. Someone who's on your side, who acts for you. Like Lisa at loans.co.uk.
Hi, Phil. This nice couple were paying over £1,000 every month on their unsecured credit agreements.
Could you help them?
Yes, even though they've been turned down in the past. We can reduce the customer's monthly outgoings by up to 50% every month.
So they're happy?
Very, very happy. We arranged a loan to clear their previous debts, and they get a 5-month break before they have to start making repayments.
Happy days.
If you're a homeowner and you need a loan, call loans.co.uk on 0800 856 7029.
Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
Hello, my friends.
My name is Uri. This is my home. It's very cozy, as you can see. And this is my pride and joy, my refrigerator. Maybe. Oh, perfect temperature. This crazy boy here is my homeboy Gurb. Cheers. And this is the best thing about my place. Peace and quiet.
Smirnoff Ice.
Brrr.
Now out of south side, but what becomes a country boy? A truck shining like a pin. He's a big bright boy named Willie McCoy, but back home they call him Slim. Now he's the toughest teak with a honoring streak. He's got a turbo diesel brute. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the hold alone to Ranger, and you don't mess around with him.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your old car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
We've all been waiting for this one. We won't have to wait too much longer. Stand by for the game of the season so far. Runaway SPL leaders Hearts against defending champions Rangers. Kicks off at 12:30 and it's live only on Setanta Sports. These are the match odds. Hearts 7-4 to win, Rangers 6-5. Now when you think back, a year ago, Rangers would have come here probably 3-1 on. 9-4 the draw, and the last time Rangers were odds against playing any team other than Celtic was May 2001. It was here, and that day they won 4-1. Now, while Rudy Scatchell and Paul Hartley have grabbed most of the Hearts headlines this season, the rock-solid form of Craig Gordon in goals hasn't gone unnoticed. The 22-year-old keeper plays his 100th game for the Tynecastle team today, 98 of them on the trot. Now, one of the ways Craig relaxes is by taking his dog Brody for a walk. Well, when I say relaxes, I mean apart from the attentions of our dogged reporter, Scott Booth.
Is this how you get away from it all?
Yeah, it's nice. It's take a dog out for a wee stroll after training and after games, that just to unwind. It's nice. She's a bit of a menace. She's chewed most of the things in the house and all that, but no, I wouldn't swap her. She's been brilliant and yeah, just very settled. And I think that everything's so settled at Hearts now. I think that's been a massive difference in where we've come to. I think the boys have come in and settled really quickly, and the team spirit's grown with each game, and I think it helps with you winning. The spirit in the camp's very high at the moment. So.
Coming into this season, what were your expectations?
Well, the owner had a chat with us, and he said he expected us to be challenging for the league, and I don't think anybody really believed that at the time, especially when we were away on our pre-season tour. We didn't have a very big squad at all. We still don't have a very big squad, but you know, we're running very thin, and 17, 18-year-old boys playing in the first team all through pre-season, so it was difficult at that stage, but the quality that the owner and the manager have brought in has really brought home to the rest of the players that this is possible.
Are you becoming a believer then?
Yeah, I think we have to. I think the players have to believe that we can go out and win every game, and that's not going to happen. You've seen that the other night there when we went and played Livingston and they played very well and deserved to win, but we have to go out there and apply ourselves like what we have in the first 7 league games, and you never know what may happen. We've always been built on a decent defence with Elvis and Webby in front of myself as a solid base for the team, and I think possibly last season we lacked a wee bit of creativity going forward, and that's been sorted out in the midfield with the addition of Rudy and Paul Hartley getting in touch and scoring goals as well. So we've got a lot of goals from midfield. We've not got as many possibly as we could have from the strikers, but they'll hit form. They're been thereabouts, and their hold-up play has been excellent in bringing our players into play. So we've got a really good team work ethic at the moment. So the Scottish boys in there are important to stress to the other boys that sometimes you just have to roll the sleeves up and get on with it. I think that was the case up at Inverness last week. It was a very difficult game and not a lot of football played, but at the end of the day we came out with 3 points, and it was just one of them that we had to roll the sleeves up and get on with it. And the Scottish boys are well used to doing that, and if we can get the foreign guys to do that when it's needed, then we'll have a good recipe.
Is it a lot of this down to George Burley, because teams like Livingston, Celtic, Rangers as well, they've all brought in a lot of players at the start of this season, but Hearts have gelled right from the off. That's got to be down to them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that as the games have gone on, we've got better and better. When we started off, we lost a couple of goals in the first game of the season against Kilmarnock, and that was still working on a few things. That was more or less the first time that team had played together. We didn't even have any friendlies with that exact team that we started with. So he's a very hands-on manager. He takes training every single day, and every aspect of it he takes. So I think that has a big bearing on how the team gelled together so quickly. And he's been magnificent. He's come in and not lost a league game, and he's got that self-confidence, a wee bit of arrogance that you possibly need to be a top manager, and that's rubbing off on the players, and we go out there expecting to win now.
A lot of people have said that the big test for Hearts is going to be the first defeat, the first bad result. Now that's happened in midweek. What do you expect the reaction is going to be from that?
I don't think that'll affect us at all. It's a League Cup, obviously we wanted to do well in it, but there was a lot of changes, and most of them were forced through injury, and I think we'll have the majority of those back. I think that all the ones that played up at Inverness will be coming back into the team for Saturday, and that'll make a big difference. So I don't think that'll affect us too much. We'll be going out and looking to win, especially at home in front of our own fans, and with the added incentive of it being such a big game and such a lot at stake. I don't think that'll affect us in our preparations at all.
What an incentive that must be this early in the season, to go in against Rangers knowing if you win the game, you'll be 11 points clear of them.
Yeah, I can't think the last time that happened, and that's a big incentive for us, and it'll also be a massive incentive to them to cut it to 5. So there's a lot at stake for both teams here, and I'm sure that'll be reflected in the start of the game. It'll probably come out and be 100 mile an hour, because nobody will want to give an inch, and it should make for an interesting spectacle.
Both these teams today have great confidence at the moment in the goalkeeping position. Craig Gordon was almost released by Hearts as a 15-year-old because he was only 5'9". He's grown a bit since then in all sorts of ways.
He's 6'4", really commands his area. I didn't think he had his best season last season. I thought he had a couple of dodgy moments, which every young player has, but you have to say, both for club and country this season, he's been absolutely fantastic. I'd go as far as saying I haven't seen anybody in England, either in the Premiership, better than this guy. He's really got his own future in his hands, very level-headed, top keeper, and really proud that he's Scottish, and I'm really glad that we've got one like that.
Woody Scatchell played left back for Panathinaikos, but it's from the left midfield position that he's wreaked havoc in Scottish defences this season. 7-7 in the SPL.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, that stat on its own is incredible, but he seems to arrive in the box at the right time, and a genuinely exciting player at only 26 as well. You wonder if he keeps doing this, whether he'll remain at Tynecastle. I'm sure the Hearts fans will hope he does, but an extremely effective player.
Paul Hartley was sitting in Ian's seat last weekend, which we're just not fussy about who we have at all in here with us, Craig. But he spoke well that day, and he's been outstanding, hasn't he?
He speaks well. He's been a great player for them. He's really matured, and I hope we don't put the jinx on him, because normally when players come in, they get injured, or a manager gets a sack, or a manager looking for a job doesn't get a job. So don't worry, Ian. But this guy is tremendous. You know, he really is the backbone of the team, along with the other Scottish lads. And he can be a real handful today, getting forward, and he can cause Rangers some real problems. And Alec McLeish will certainly be letting these players know that this guy is one to watch, along with Scatchell.
So Scatchell left side midfield, Hartley central, supporting the front two, and on the right side of the midfield today it's Samuel Camasola, the Brazilian, who George Burley, of course, famously hadn't seen play when he turned up and said, by the way, I'm yours. Made his debut for Hearts as a sub in Inverness last Saturday away from home, and he started against Livingston, he starts again today.
Well, George has obviously got some faith in him. I know it was well publicised, he hadn't seen him play, but to select him for his first game in a game like this suggests that George reckons he's a decent player. He showed it well in training or whatever reserve game he's played. I've not seen a lot of the boy either, but to be given his debut in a game of such importance means George must fancy him a little bit.
Many football watchers had the script already written. Ian Murray would move from Hibs to Rangers and become a squad player who would just pop in and out of the first team. Wrong. Murray's been ever present, and this will be his 12th start of the season. He's been talking to Scots.
Going from a club out with all the firm, people expect you to come and make up the numbers. I was fortunate enough to start the season reasonably well and keep my face in the picture. I was confident I would get my chance, and it's up to me after that to try and take it. But you do look at the players coming in and you think, oh, there's another centre half coming, or there's another midfielder, or the strikers might think, oh, we've signed 2 strikers just before the deadline, where am I going to play? But before they come in, you're in pole position with the position that you're given before. So as long as you can try and keep that and keep performances up, then you shouldn't have to worry about anyone else.
Now, the form of the team of late, are you completely happy with it?
No, I don't think any of us are happy with it. I mean, I wouldn't say we struggled. We were unfortunate against Aberdeen. I thought not to win the match, and never mind get beat. Never mind if we had 11 men in the park. I think we were going to win that game. Falkirk, we didn't play great. In saying that, we got a goal chopped off it after we scored our first one. It would have killed the game. Hibs, we could have been 5-6-0 up before they sucker punched us. So it's all ifs and buts, and I'm not saying that we've not had our fair share of luck on the way, which we did. We got a little bit of luck against Porto. We got a little bit of luck on Tuesday night. So all leaves itself out, but I mean, we're a little bit disappointed with our form at the moment.
Defensively still pretty fragile. Why is that, and have you been working on it?
Yeah, we work on it every day. I think it's just getting a settled team, a settled back four anyway, and I mean, everybody knows it takes time to play with someone. You learn every game what they like and how they do things, so I think the longer the season goes, the more compact we'll be.
What would you say is your best position?
I say midfield. I don't mind centre half. I find centre half fairly comfortable. Played left back a few times this season, not my favourite position, but by no means my worst. But I've had to pick when it would be playing midfield.
As you have said that every team does have a sticky spell throughout the season. Do you feel you've had yours now, and maybe with the Livingston result against Hearts, they're just coming into there, so the timing's good?
Hopefully. I mean, the pressure's now building a little bit in Hearts, I think. They've not blown their own trumpet by any means. They've been fairly quiet. I think they're just getting on with the job and doing well. And the guy that's come in's backed them with a lot of money, and he's promised a lot of things for them. This is going to be hard for them, there's no doubt. I think when injuries and suspensions kick in, it's going to be difficult for them, because when I was with Hibs last season, we were on an unbelievable run last season over Christmas. We never lost a game and we barely dropped any points, and we still found ourselves 20 odd points behind Old Firm. So that's, from my point of view, that's the hard part, having such a great season last year and still being 20-25 points behind Old Firm.
Now, 8 points behind, can you afford to go 11 points behind?
Well, we can, because there's so many games left, but I mean, it's not a great situation for us if we go 11 points behind. I don't remember the last time Rangers were 11 points behind anyone apart from Celtic. So, I mean, as I say, we can afford it because we know we've got the mentality and the strength to come back from it, but we certainly don't want to go 11 points behind.
Ian Murray has bags of belief in his own ability, but I'm sure even he didn't arrive at Ibrox thinking he would start the first 12 games here.
No, he's been a shining light for Rangers all season, and it's his versatility, I think, that Alex liked. Although he's played more centre midfield than anywhere else. And as I said, I don't think he's a top player, I've got to say, but he's certainly done very well since he's went there, and his ability to get up and down the pitch is second to none.
What's the difference between a top player and a top player?
Up top, he might not be able to take Rangers to the next stage and to qualify for the Champions League. I don't think he's that stand-up.
And that was one of the ones that wasn't sure about.
You holding your hand up?
I'm holding my hands up, but it's a long way to go. But the lad has done well. He hasn't got swallowed up with the pressure, and he's been good. But they have got problems in other areas, and he can fill in.
Now, Julian Rodriguez arrived at Rangers with an impressive pedigree. We both watched him in the home game against Kilmarnock last weekend. Craig, what did you think?
Average. Alec keeps telling everybody, and he did last week, how great a defender he is. Well, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it from Fan. I haven't seen it from him. The only one I've seen defending decently has been Marvin Andrews. Keriakos goes in the missing list as well at times, so I think this guy's still got a lot to prove in Scottish football. Alex said he's not a great header of the ball. Well, I'm afraid when you play in this country and you're a centre-half, you're going to have to be. And certainly today, against Jankowskis and Bednar, there could be a lot big aerial presence, and he's going to be under pressure today, Rodriguez. He's not really fitted in at this moment in time, and that's why Alec keeps getting all the questions about his defensive partnerships.
It's difficult to talk about Barry Ferguson without just simply raving about him, because he has been phenomenal for Rangers so far in just about every game.
Well, I think I said the last time I was on here, he seems to have grown physically since he was down in the Premiership, and he really has been immaculate in everything he's done, and he's a joy to watch because he plays his heads up all the time when he's playing football. He's been outstanding for Rangers, and you know, in Oslo he was absolutely outstanding for Scotland as well.
And I think he needs better players round about him, Rob, because I think in midfield at times you've got Namucci and you've got Lovenkrands, and you can see Barry Ferguson getting frustrated with him at times because they're not of his quality. So he's just got to keep his head down, keep doing what he's doing, and just keep working at his game, because he's one of the best players we've got in the country, there's no doubt about that.
It's less than 10 minutes away. It's the biggest match of the Scottish season so far. Eager with anticipation, the two sets of supporters ahead of the 12:30 kick-off. The match is on the way.
The amazing Washmatic system, the portable cleaning system designed to clean your car, caravan, windows, conservatory and paintwork. Simply move the brush to draw the water from the bucket. The quicker you move, the quicker the water flows. You stop, the water stops. No pumps, no motors. It's like having a tap at your fingertips. The Washmatic's clever valve defies gravity. Water can go up, but not down. Simply fill the tube by bouncing the valve up and down below the water level until 1/3 of the tube is full. Clip to the side of the bucket and lay the tube on the ground until the water flows to the brush. It's so easy. Dirt never goes back in the bucket, never goes back on your car. No taps, no tangled hoses. With Washmatic, 1 bucket of water is all you need to wash your car. Included are the extension poles for caravans or anywhere you need extra reach, and the wash and wipe for windows, conservatories and patio doors. And we'll also give you this sprinkler for your garden and hanging baskets. The amazing Washmatic system. It's clever, it's simple and it works. Call this number now to order yours. You get the complete Washmatic system, the extension pole, the wash and wipe and the garden sprinkler. Full instructions, order at the price on screen, and we'll include this excellent chamois cloth as a bonus accessory at no extra cost. Order your Washmatic system and free chamois cloth by calling the number on screen.
Now out of South Harbour, what becomes a country boy? A truck shining like a pin. He's a big bright boy named Willie McCoy, but back home they call him Slim. Now he's the toughest teak with a honorary streak. He's got a turbo diesel brute. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask up the whole load of range, and you don't mess around with him.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your old car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
Hearts haven't beaten Rangers at Tynecastle in more than 7 years. But talking of 7, they've won their first 7 matches this season, and they'll move 11 points clear of the champions if they win here. Enjoy the match, if you can, with Mark Haitley and Jock Brown.
Thanks, Rob. Yes, well, obviously much too early to talk about league deciders, but there are frequently defining matches in any league season, and this really could well be one of them. Now, Mark, if Rangers are to avoid defeat, can they afford to lose? And if not, how are they going to avoid it?
Well, I don't think they can afford to be this far behind. I think if you lose today, 11 points is a big ask. Even if neither team's dropped points remaining of the season, there's 3 games, and can you say to yourself, can Rangers then beat Hearts in 3 consecutive games? That is a big ask and a lot of pressure. Going about the result, I think Alex said before the game about individuals reaching the performance that he expects them to, and I think that's what's going to be required today. I think it's going to take some exceptional performances throughout the Rangers side if they're going to get anywhere near this Hearts side today.
Well, there's confirmation of the Hearts team back to full strength after the midweek match at Livingston, with Samuel Camisola preferred to Jamie McAllister in midfield. Julian Brellier and Garas Jankauskas were injury worries, but both have been past fit to play.
Hearts into the customary 4-3-1-2 formation. Hartley just fitting in behind Jankauskas and Bednar. And that man Skacel, all eyes on him today. Can he make it 8 in a row?
So the Rangers team lends itself to various permutations tactically, but Nacho Novo is preferred to Francis Jeffers in attack. There's no Peter Lovenkrantz, and there are 3 centre-backs named: Marvin Andrews, Sotirios Kyriakos and Julian Rodriguez.
We actually think that they'll start with the back 4. All depending on Ian Murray's role today, whether they stay in the back 4 or go to a 5 across the middle of the park.
Well, quite an incredible setting here at Tynecastle with the fireworks and the pyrotechnics and all the pre-match rametas. So that's the Rangers team confirmed. There's a possible formation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they'll set out in a 4, but all depending on Ian Murray, because Ian Murray can actually play on the right-hand side, and if that is the fact, then I think they'll switch to a 3. But a big ask for Olivier Bernard. Not played a lot of games up and down that side as a wing-back. It's a big ask, so you think they'll start like that.
So the mist around, or the smoke around. There's Samuel Camisola, the 23-year-old Brazilian who starts his first league game for Hearts, signed by Vladimir Romanov without George Burley seeing him, but he's shown the manager enough to be named in this huge match.
Yeah, playing in a position, that man, I thought was a stick-on to come back into the side today. Pace, eye for a goal, top goal scorer last year, 60th appearance, 28 goals for the club so far. A man that will run behind defenders. The big 2 at the back, Webster and Presley. Will he give them a problem? He hopes they will.
Well, for Alec McLeish, very difficult times indeed. Inter Milan coming up on Wednesday in another crucial match in Europe, but it's all about the league this afternoon. And for George Burley, a very relaxed figure. He really has had a dream start to his Hearts management, and the loss in midweek at Livingston, I'm sure the CIS Cup is not troubling him too much. Kenny Clark is the highly experienced match official in charge. 13 yellow cards his last 5 matches. So the team's preparing for the start, and Rangers going into this match odds against for the first time in a match against a Scottish side other than Celtic for a very long time. So, a huge occasion, great expectation around Tynecastle. The 100% record of Hearts very much on the line. So great interest in how Rangers will start the match and line up. There's going to be Jankauskas and Hartley to start the match, and we're underway in perhaps a league match of the season so far, without question. I think very important game. We're looking very quickly to see exactly how Rangers are setting themselves up, and it looks as though Rodriguez is right in the heart of the fence. Andrews also in there, and it looks as though it may be a back 3 in fact, with Namucci wide right and Bernard wide left. Checking that, Mark?
Yeah, I think it is at the moment important defensive situation for Rangers at the moment. Hartley ever dangerous in these situations, and Rangers leaking goals in the aerial part of the game.
So Skacel with the left foot, angling that in off the head of Webster. Strong challenge by Nielsen, and Kyriakos was strong against Jankowskis. Fast start by Hearts, and still not finished in this attack. Kyriakos goes down, fouled there by Roman Bednar, and relief for the Rangers defence.
Hearts already showed the hand. They're going to be positive, they're going to get the ball forward. We've seen it before, throwing the ball into the front two, who are a big pairing, and look to pick up the scraps, the second ball. A good start from Hearts.
Strong challenge there by Presley on Purcell. Hand off there by Ferguson on Camazola. Hearts in a hurry with the set pieces. They like to keep the ball moving very swiftly.
Yeah, keep the tempo of the game up, but another important area of the game today, Jock, will be that midfield area. Key players, Hartley, Ferguson. Lots of energy in there.
Good running by Novo. Followed by Webster. Needs some support. Good tackle in the end by Webster. Scottish international, of course, with now 19 caps. Ferguson with Bernard. Camazola goes in strongly, it's deflected for a Hearts throw.
Slippy play there from Olivier Bernard. Roy Ferguson just waiting for the ball to be knocked back to him and thrown into the box. It's a very, very high tempo start of the game, first couple of minutes as you would expect. Perfect day for this. No wind, still as anything, and a beautiful surface to be playing football on.
Andrews launching it forward, the offside flag on the near side is up. Free kick to Hearts. Kyriakos has been up with the attack, but now makes his way back to join Rodriguez and Andrews. Namucci has a very important task of filling that wing-back role on the right-hand side for Rangers. And looking after, of course, Rudy Scatchell in that area.
Yeah. Always that hole in there for attackers to be running in behind Namucci, but lots and lots of energy the boy's got. Defensive qualities, we get to see those come from his game.
So Rickson been pushed forward now into a midfield role alongside Murray and Ferguson in the centre of the midfield. Space there for Hartley, now Nielsen. Another hopeful ball to that wide position.
A lot of pressure on the ball at the moment, not a lot of time to get your passes off. A couple of loose passes there.
So three central midfield for Rangers, Rickson, Murray and Ferguson at the start of the match. Bernard pushing forward on the left and Namucci on the right. Here's Jankowskis with Fizas. The block was made there by Namucci. So the tactical alterations going on. George Burley on the touchline assessing the Rangers setup very carefully to see whether or not he requires to tinker. Andrews coming in there clumsily behind Rickson, and the free kick goes to Hearts. Well, Hearts have a very poor record against Rangers here in recent times. Not won any of the last 13 meetings at Tynecastle, lost 10 and drawn 3. So they won one of the last 29 meetings in all competitions. But seldom have they come into a match with more optimism than they have this afternoon. George Burley, the man who is leading this revolution at Hearts. Helped, of course, by the finance provided by Vladimir Romanov. Here's Robbie Nielsen now with a throw. Strong challenge made by Rodriguez. That's Ferguson, still to be seen as an influence in the match. Camazola with Jankowskis. That's Nielsen. Kyriakos going in with that acrobatic attempt at clearance.
Yeah, like for like up, attackers against defenders. Kyriakos, 6'5", 6'6". And Jankowskis. And Bednar.
Bernard sorts that out with a long ball forward, but Webster has all the time in the world, and you can see the confidence and the composure in the Hearts ranks. Kyriakos clashing there with Bednar. very familiar, Kyriakos, with two of the Hearts players. He played with Rudi Skacel and with Takis Pisas when he was at Panathinaikos. So here's Olivier Bernard settling in this left wing-back position for Rangers. Turned out there by Camisola, says the linesman. Disappointment there for Camisola. Bit of barging into Purso there. Free kick to Rangers.
Not an inch given today. First 6 minutes littered with free kicks, as you'd expect. Players playing up against each other, not willing to give an inch or a second time on the ball. Very intense.
The big men have gone forward. Well, only Andrews, in fact. Kyriakos has stayed back, so has Rodriguez. It's for Andrews to attack, which he did very effectively. Didn't get a clean contact on the header, though.
I think
well, let's have some pitch side observations of our man at the track. That's Scott Booth.
Yes, Jock, I'm sitting right behind Alec McLeish in the stand, and he's been constantly tinkering to the start of the game. He's already moved Rodriguez and Marvin Andrews into different positions. He's trying to tell Namucci to come in off the right-hand side, and also on this left-hand side a little bit with Ian Murray. And it's just basically, he's obviously not sure exactly where he wants his team to be at the moment, and the players more so. The players don't know where they want to be.
Well, that doesn't augur so very well, really, for the preparation, and obviously the Hearts set up, influencing Alec McLeish's thinking. This Pisas losing out to Purcell. Webster makes the clearance. That's Rodriguez. Aubrelier passed the fitness test before the match. He's giving that straight to Ferguson. First real chance to make an impact. Purcell back it goes to Novo. No, it's Ferguson. Pull that wide. Well, Rangers are very keen to see Barry Ferguson involved as much as possible, but Hearts are making that extremely difficult.
Yeah, Hearts just a bit of a mistake there, and Barry Ferguson trying to capitalise on that. An interception in the midfield area. We've said it's going to be a key position.
Good challenge there by Rodriguez. Strateros with the long clearance, looking for Purcell. He's the big target there. Bellier to Pisas. Hearts, of course, populated by a lot of players who are totally unimpressed by historical old firm dominance. Men like Pisas. Cut noise with him. That's Purcell with a cross. It reaches Bernard. That was very difficult indeed for Bernard. May regret now not taking time to control that.
That's an excellent chance, that. Good play from Novo and Purcell. Purcell super ball into that far post area. Bernard coming in as you'd expect. The wing back, just an awkward bounce in front of him. Could have taken a touch. Elected to take it on his first effort, but a great chance there for Rangers.
Well, all this tactical tinkering, very interesting. Ian Murray clearly has been given the task of keeping Paul Hartley under control. Seems to be his major defensive chore. He's looking on anxiously here to get off to a good start. Ball against Purcell. Alvaro Purcell being encouraged by the referee to back off, allow this free kick to be taken. That's Stephen Presley looking for Bednar. Strong challenge from behind by Kyriakos, and a fair one. Tidy play there from Purcell and from Bernard. That's Novo with Namucci breaking on the right-hand side. Looking for Rickson, but that's a very ambitious pass. Good control shown there by Ferguson. That's Andrews looking for Rickson, breaking the forward position on the right-hand side. That's a good ball in. Novo. Back it comes towards Rickson and blocked back to Ferguson. Good bit of play this from Rangers. They've kept the ball well in this little phase of the play. And a careless one by Kyriakos, a complete misunderstanding ahead of him.
Yeah, it needs to show a little bit more patience there. Kyriakos, a man of his experience, as passes on out wide. Looking to force the issue there. I think state of the game, the way his game's gone in the first 10 minutes, a lot of loose passing. He needs a team now, a player to put his foot on the ball and start and make them passes. Start to dictate the play.
Namucci's header. Here's Brelier. Now Purcell takes over. Pisas steps in. Disappointing clearance out by the Scotland goalkeeper, Craig Gordon.
He had time there to take another touch there, but elected to go on the full.
Craig Gordon making his 100th appearance for Hearts. 98th in a row, and Noble looking hopefully towards referee Kenny Clark, but looking in vain as he fell against Presley. Jankauskas, Nielsen, lay off from Bednar. This is Jankauskas again. Pisas comes from the left-hand side, trying to pick out Scatchell ahead. He's showing a lot of faith in Hamed Namucci, such a young player in this different role. Namucci's header's a good one. Bednar got up well. That's Jankauskas. Fortunate clearance that from Namucci, reaching Purcell eventually. Hartley putting him under pressure.
Great work again there from Hartley, non-stop. That's what Nacho Novo will be trying to do, be trying to back himself in and using his pace to get round the big two, Webster and Stephen Presley, but not a lot in that. Referee Kenny Clark right on top of that situation.
Namucci ignored all the instructions of the referee to move back 5 yards to take that throw, so it's a foul throw and Hearts have possession. It's the kind of game where possession really is at a premium and must not be yielded lightly. Pisas, Bednar. Dado Purcell prepared to come back as ever and do his defensive chores. Involuntary dummy that, I think, by Bednar and Scatchell. Out there to Murray. Rickson beat the ball. That's Scatchell's cross. Excellent save by Vaterus. He needed help though from Rodriguez. That was Jankauskas, but almost stolen with a header here.
It's a fantastic ball in from Scatchell. Fernando Rickson caught with the ball, but that's a great ball. That's a great header and a great save. Good football all round. And Rodriguez is clearing the mess up.
A delay here because Ronald Vaterus needs some attention. Damaged the hand, I think, in that save. Referee satisfied he can continue without treatment. Very good attempt on goal, that by Jankauskas. Delivery from Scatchell, excellent also. Here's Hartley now with a corner kick. That's a goal for Hearts! Roman Bednar gets the opening goal. Terrific delivery by Hartley. And a deadly finish by Bednar.
Absolutely a deadly service there from Hartley into a danger area. How many times have we seen that this year? Rangers conceding from corners and free kicks. Man not in front of the space, and that is a super finish, all made by the delivery. Plenty of pace, nobody in front of Bednar, and that is a simple finish. Super goal for Hearts.
Well, real question marks about the defending though, Mark. He's 3 yards out with an unchallenged header.
You have to have a man standing in that space. The ball's going to be delivered in there, all right, one on the near post, but you have to have a man standing in the space to stop that sort of service. Rangers guilty again of not taking responsibility in those situations.
Well, Tynecastle is shaking to its roots as these Hearts fans celebrate. Rangers now with a real task on their hands. Hearts with their tails up now, ready to come forward again. Scatchell halted by Andrews. That's Novo. The last thing Rangers want to do is allow Hearts to settle on this lead. This is Namucci. Now it's back to Rickson. Webster made a block. Calmly away by Brelier to Jankauskas. Interception by Rodriguez. That's Andrews to Ferguson. Bundled out of that by Hartley. And Julian Rodriguez getting a bit overheated there, trying to retrieve the ball for the free kick quickly. This is from Noble. Presley did well against Noble and Purcell. Noble complaining with the referee, he thinks he was fouled. The referee dismisses him instantly.
Good ball in from Namucci here. It's a step over into the second player, second runner. Not a lot in that again. A strong play. Novo going to ground far too easily.
Namucci's throw, here's Purcell. Namucci with an early cross, here's Novo again, tackled by Presley. Back to Ferguson. A difficult attempt that on the volley. Chance set up by Bernard, not really a clear-cut attempt from Ferguson.
It's a few times, a couple of times now. Ball's dropped out to Barry Ferguson, a little bit snatchier on this effort. Taking the ball on the up. The ball continually going up as it goes over the bar. He'll be delighted with the way his team started. Defended well and pretty fluid going forward as well.
Kyriakos with a header. With Brelier to Camazola. Jankowskis losing out to Rodriguez. Well, since the Premier League started in 1975, no team, apart from the Old Firm, have won the first 8 league games in a row. Hearts are on course for that. And a touch on there by Andrews was almost collected by Scatchell. This is Hartley. Scatchell again. It's a very intelligent turn and a good delivery again. And a great chance for Bednar. It was about 6 inches too high for Bednar.
You still think that's a chance? Super service again from Scatchell here. Fernando Rickson getting himself the wrong side of the ball there. That's a great delivery. I think he just missed time the jump there, Bednar. There's plenty of time to see that coming in.
Well, the issue here, Mark, surely is with 3 big centre-backs. They've lost a goal from a corner kick, and they've lost almost another from that cross with no player anywhere near him. Nacho Novo's in trouble. Novo limping very heavily, and looks as though his continuing involvement is in question. Francis Jeffers may well get the chance to come on, unless Noble can run off this knock, but it doesn't look promising for him. In the middle of the field, they're really struggling. In fact, I think Rangers are waiting no longer to make the change.
Yeah, team just pushed off, and looks like he's pulled either a hamstring or a calf muscle.
And there was Noble in a position which normally he would have wanted to exploit, but he couldn't move at all. Actually, almost better making his way to the touchline now rather than allowing players to think he might be able to receive a pass. There's a foul on Jankowskis by Rodriguez, and the distress signal flying there from Novo. Referee Kenny Clark will not prepare to stop this Hearts attack. Nielsen's cross. Ronald Barbaros comes out to collect, and Francis Jeffers has prepared himself to become involved. That's why the ball's been thrown out, to allow the change to be made. Stephen Presley's coming over to have words with Scatchell about what to do with this throw. Does he give it back to Rangers or not? Well, the change to be made is Jeffers for Novo. Well, that was a selection decision which had to be made before the match by Alec McLeish, and now he's left with no option.
Yeah, I think Andy Webster and Stephen Presley will be delighted with that fact. Francis Jeffers, not the sort of pace that Nacho Novo's got. Tends to play in front of defenders and not behind defenders as well.
Interesting, their Hearts did give the ball back from that throw-in. Stephen Presley dictated that. In which he got a very good touch on that, but the angle not quite right. Well, Robbie Nielsen is showing some wear and tear on his face. Blood appearing, we have to have that attended to also. Jankowskis. Poor ball forward that by Presley, giving possession back to Rangers. Well, remember the opportunity again to win the signed shirt from the man of the match. If you can win this competition, name your man of the match towards the end, see if it matches that of Mark Catley, and you can win that signed shirt. These are the numbers to call from the UK, from the Republic of Ireland, and that's Scatchell with a cross. Played a bit deep. Jankowski's held up well by Bernard. Good play by Bernard coming out of defence. This is Purcell. Aiming for Jeffers, is on his heels. And then caught Webster. His attempt to get to the ball late. Referee is going to award to Garis Jankowskis. That's good refereeing because I think Lithuanian certainly lost the place. After losing possession to Olivier Bernard, he had a swipe at him from out of reach and didn't make contact, to his good fortune. But the referee saw that and he's had a word with the player. Good refereeing by Kenny Clark. The Hearts have a chance to put pressure on this Rangers defence once again. It really has been a massive gamble by Alec McLeish to change the defensive formation for such an important match. So far, in all truth, it hasn't yet worked out.
You can see there's an uncertainty there in the Rangers' back three. Who's attacking the ball, who's marking men and going tight to men. Needs to get sorted out very quickly if you're Alex McLeish.
Malmucci get up well again, waiting Jeffers to chase. I think Presley was hoping to have some help from Craig Gordon there, but the keeper decided against that. Very unfortunate day for Nacho Novo. Look how disappointed he is. Ferguson picks out Malmucci. Good block by Pisas. Calm play in defence. Completely confident team. Excellent pass there by Jankowskis. And Andrews out of reach as he brings down Bednar. Clear free kick there to Hearts, and referee Kenny Clark showing no interest there in Marvin Andrews, and yet I wonder in a sense why.
Give a free kick there, but Marvin Andrews clearly taking some of the ball there. Giving a free kick. He just caught on the side of the knee. But, we've seen throughout this first half down this Hearts' left-hand side, Rangers' right-hand side, the space that is being created, switching by really Skacel. And Bednar a bit sore with that one.
Well, very unusual to see a Hearts player be treated by anyone other than Alan Ray, their long-standing physio who's left the club after 23 years. Oliver Finlay, the replacement. Roman Bednar needs attention off the field, and clearly, unkind to Andrews, he got a touch on that, and that's why it's a throw to Hearts, and there's no interest on the part of the referee in Andrews' tackle. There's Jankowskis. Pisas taking it at pace. It's good play. Oh, he's put it into the area where Bednar surely would have been had he not been getting treatment.
It's a super delivery again. The Hearts players. Super delivery coming from this left-hand side.
Well, it's Camizola. Nielsen a little bit careless with the pass, allowing Purcell to step in. Carefully caught there by Alec McLeish. The technical area. Bednar has returned for Hearts, that's why there's such applause. Jankowskis to Bednar, helping it on. It's reached Rudy Skacel! What an effort that was by Skacel. No wonder he's been so deadly in goal-scoring terms this season.
Yeah, indecisive defending again there, look. Ball just dropping down, and that's the last man you want on the ball. Skacel has had an excellent start to this game. His delivery's been good. Confidence is there. 7 goals in 7 games, looking to add to that at every opportunity.
Wesley doing well against Purcell. That's Murray. There's Robbie Nielsen, bundled into from behind by Jeffers. Free kick to Hearts. Good interception by Bernard. That's Hartley. Well, the match running very much Hearts' way at the moment. They really do seem to have taken a grip. And let's without pushing Hartley as far forward as some might have expected. Brelly is sitting in front of the two centre-backs, and Camazola and Hartley and Scatchell. Narrow midfield three. The question mark about Roman Bednar's fitness to continue. The shake of the head, I think, to the technical area tells the story, so there will be a change made by Hearts shortly. So it's a free kick for Rangers to take. Stephen Simmons is going to come on. 23-year-old with one international under-21 cap. Roman Bednar, a goal scorer, goes off, and that is undoubtedly a blow, I would suggest, to Hearts.
Yeah, another key figure leaving the arena early doors. Much enabled for Rangers now. Bednar for Hearts.
Robbie Nielsen's had to go off too to get some blood removed from his face. So he'll be back shortly, but he's got to get that sorted out. The eye allows him to come back eventually, but referee not yet. He can't do it until the ball's back in play. That's Purcell with a header. And Gordon did well despite the attentions there of Kyriakos. Good glancing header this.
Good delivery from Barry Ferguson. It's a good nod towards the goal. Kyriakos continues his run in there. And he has a tap in, just a little bit hesitant, but Craig Gordon there, as you'd expect, tipping that round the post.
Bernard lining up the in-swinger for Rangers. Challenge is made by Kyriakos, who dropped to the ball, but the pressure applied by the defenders made sure he couldn't get that on target. Look at that Hearts goal again.
There's Marvin Handry is just behind the player, but it's a space in front of Bednar, which is the area that needs to be looked at. Needs to be a player in there.
Well, just looking to see how Hearts are going to deploy Stephen Simmons, who's a natural midfield player. It's Camazola. Touching the ball still, Camazola. Tackled eventually by Rodriguez, appeals for a penalty. Namucci with the clearing header, only reaches Pisas. Deflected ball, and a push by Rodriguez that time. Now that was a clear push on Simmons, and Rangers have escaped.
Kenny Clark right in front of that as well.
I think his view's blocked actually.
Yeah, hands on there, a clear push from Rodriguez. You see it from behind. And Kenny Clark right in front of that, getting real good vision.
Well, that looked like a clear penalty.
Yeah, looked fortunate there. Rodriguez very, very fortunate.
Brellier caught by Murray. The tackling's very tough indeed. There's Hartley. Scatchell tackled by Rickson. Well, two very strong penalty appeals in the inside a minute there for Hearts. Neither given, and I think we really show that there was a real chance that both of them should have been. Rickson across to Bernard. This is Murray. Now Ferguson. Hearts hustling in midfield, giving these Rangers players no time at all in possession. Andrews goes route one. Presley beats Jeffers, as you would expect. Now it's Murray to Ferguson. Jankowskis showing good control. Running into Namucci. Here's Bednar. Good tackle there by Rodriguez. The ball's out of play though. It's going to be a throw to Hearts. Well, let's check on these penalty claims.
Here's the first one. It's a tackle for me. There's nothing in that one. It's getting 2 feet. There's no studs. The ball's well away from that one. Kenny Clark right on top of it again, must be said.
He did seem to play the ball all right that time, Rodriguez, but the push in the back was hazardous on his part for an experienced defender later. Could easily have been a penalty. Free kick given against Jankowskis. Backing into Kyriakos.
Using his body to shield the ball. The referee believing that was backing in.
More interest in the player on the ball that time from Jankowskis. This is Jeffers. Jeffers with a shot again, blocked there by Brellier. There's further activity on the Hearts bench. It looks as though Takis Fisas is struggling at left back. But maybe a chance for McAllister to replace him. Simmons back here to Nielsen. This is Brellier under pressure from Jeffers. Tackle on Kyriakos was by Stephen Presley. Well, McAllister is going to come on, and Fisas is applying his distress signal too to the bench. He's got a knee injury, Fisas, which I think he carried before the match and was something of a doubt beforehand, but he has started but is clearly struggling. Well, Namucci reacting angrily there.
A little petulance there from Namucci. Scatcher showed him down the line and then just muscled him off. Nearly a swipe up there. Just refrained himself just in time. Fisas making his way to the exit door.
Well, he'll be a big miss for Hearts. A very fine fullback. Ex-Karionas Panathinaikos, Benfica, beat the European Championship winner in all 6 matches in the finals. Replaced now by a Scottish international and Jamie McAllister. So a natural left-sided defender replacing another one. Well, that was actually a great deal of a player just on the field. Webster. Throw it is to Rangers. Namucci might have been saved there, Mark, by seeming to almost check out of the swipe he
just
had the last
refrained himself at the last minute.
Headed on by Murray. This is Kyriakos, and now Bernard well forward on the left-hand side for Rangers. Good play by Jeffers. He's away from Presley. Promising for Rangers. Terrific tackle there by Webster. This is Purcell on his left foot this time. Not quite the same confidence. Well policed by McAllister. This is Kyriakos again. Rangers trying very hard to come back into the match. Nielsen's pass picks out Simmons. Brellier. Now Kyriakos. Skatchel is the principal support now for Jankowskis. Simmons playing on the right-hand side of the midfield, leaving Camazola and Brellier with Hartley in the middle.
Jeffers just limping quite heavily after that last challenge.
A long ball there from Rodriguez. There's Rickson. Namucci. Andrews to Ferguson. Purcell comes short. Puts himself under severe pressure. Just look at the work ethic in Purcell. Not prepared to give it up with a real battle. Rickson down the touchline. It's too high for Jeffers. A surprising ball for Jeffers. It might have suited Purcell, but hardly the English striker.
That's been a problem for Rangers in the first 35 minutes. Is the delivery to the front guys. Only hopeful balls. Webster and Stephen Presley just lapping that sort of delivery up.
Here's Rickson in behind McAllister. Clearance came from Nielsen. And now Rangers will make another change. And it's going to be Thomas Buffel who's coming on. So instruction be given. Julian Rodriguez appears to be the player likely to be replaced. Although he's the only player left back in defence here. This corner kick, marking Rudy Skatchel. Bernard's corner kick. Headed away by Jankowskis, protecting that near post area. Now the change is being made. Let's check on the change. Julian Rodriguez is going off. Well, he's going off in a manner which suggests he's not in any way unfit. So it looks like a tactical change being made here by Rangers.
And that suggests they're going to go to a back four, I think.
Right, they need to be thinking to doing something. That nothing sort of in the build-up play. Hopefully that man can start and link midfield to attack. It'll be a little bit more lively and imaginative in an offensive phase of the Rangers play.
Rangers throw, the volley ball straight away. Murray. Buffel takes over from Namuchi. Good play by McAllister, strong defending. Buffel doing well against Relier, who was a little bit casual there in defence. Skatchel did well. This is Jankowskis. Good touch for a big man. Over Benfica and Porto. Both under Jose Mourinho. Namuchi. Held up well there by Brelier. Gordon with a clearance. So Rangers now in a back four with Ricks and Andrews, Kyriakos and Bernard across the back, Namuchi wide in the right of midfield, Ferguson and Murray in the centre. Buffel has got some freedom to support the front two, Purcell and Jeffers. So there's the man of the match competition. Remind you, you can win a signed shirt if you agree with Mark Hale at the end of the game. You can call 0901 13 13 323 from the UK. For the Republic of Ireland, call 1513 712 444, and you can also text MOTMH or MOTMP space player's name to 85010. Take your chances on that competition. Here's Andy Webster with interception. Skatchel.
Rangers have basically gone like for like as Hearts are playing. Hartley playing a little bit more advanced behind the strikers. I think that's what Buffel will do. So matching up all over the park.
Rickson penalised and wants a quick free kick. Namuchi wouldn't let that happen, nor would Rickson. Skatchel was a player in a hurry, and the referee is prepared to allow this to be taken again without any further action against Rangers players involved. Well, Francis Jeffers now talking to Alec McLeish about the role he's expected to perform. Ball's out of play, it's going to be a throw to Rangers. Well, all this tactical changing so early in the match, Mark, does that not suggest a little bit of indecision?
I think that's been enforced with some of the injuries as well, but chopping and changing isn't conducive of free-flowing, entertaining football. It's been stop-start. A lot of niggly incidents, but as you would expect, a tense game, not a lot of time on the ball, and with the injuries thrown in, a bit of a scrappy 38 minutes, it must be said.
All that makes the opening goal, Rowan Bednar, gold dust in the game. The opening goal was always going to be so important, and Hearts have snatched it. Very good play to score the goal with some questionable defending. Rips off Bernard. So Robbie Nielsen now with the throw. The Hearts gets plenty of distance. Kyriakos penalised for his challenge on Jankowskis. No ill will between the two players, happily. Space here for Nielsen. Jeffers. Good unfamiliar territory. Here's Jankowskis. Just as well. Andrews is alert and strong enough to cope there for Rangers. Oh, they would have been in serious trouble. Good block made there by Simmons on Bernard. Hearts looking hungry and eager, full of confidence. They seem to believe all right, Mark.
Absolutely, and I think they're taking great encouragement when the ball is going forward into the Rangers back three, back four defensively. Very, very nervous times there. So another incident there, Tom Jeffers just knocking the ball back in there, and at 6 and 7s.
Here's Oral Radros, who can certainly deliver well from either foot at the back, but choosing again to play the ball short. Well, what can Kyriakos do except give that back, because the marking is so tight in midfield. No options at all available. Presley was a good one. Strength shown by Murray. Well, these are certainly difficult times for Alec McLeish, the Rangers manager, trying to come up with a formula which could turn the game his team's way. Checking the time. George Burley also with instructions from the technical area.
Trying to keep his team compact. Once his defence pushed up the park, so they're in contact with the midfield. No big spaces where Rangers can exploit those and try and pass the intricate balls.
Well, it certainly hasn't been a match so far for a Barry Ferguson.
It's really wants the game very compact, so there's no space in there for the players likes of Barry Ferguson to get hold of the ball and look for the spaces and make the passes. Well, his defence is pushed up into that midfield area. It pushes the midfield up to the strikers and keeps everything compact. Not a lot of space.
The alteration resulted in Ferguson and Hartley playing in direct opposition in the middle of the field.
Both have been very quiet. As you said, not a lot of space, not a lot of time, but I'm used to seeing Hartley making the runs into the box and Barry Ferguson into the box for them late runs, but neither yet to produce those sort of runs.
Good play by Simmons. There's Brellier. Well, wrestling Buffal away, and Rangers have the free kick to take some pressure off.
Brellier there, just his arms across Thomas Buffal's chest. Kenny Clark again, right on top of it. A good first half, Kenny Clark has not been far from the key incidents.
Foul against Purcell. Purcell and Presley clashing. The referee gives the free kick.
Yeah, arm up again there. Edo Purcell. Use that man, Kenny Clark, in your picture.
Another heavy challenge by Kyriakos on Simmons. Another free kick to Hearts. The referee will have words now with Kyriakos.
Just a nudge in the back there.
Just late.
Simmons, yeah. There's no chance of winning the ball. Just putting his shoulder through the back of Simmons there.
Well, Scatchell capable of terrific delivery. So too is Hartley from this position. Scatchell with the left foot, Hartley with the right. Central defenders are up. Webster and Presley. Not enough height on the ball from Scatchell. And Hartley trying to nip that away from Bernard. Almost made it.
Yeah, he's looking at Olivier Bernard. Hartley ever eager and keen. Just delaying getting to that ball.
There's Namucci. Webster has time to play that forward, but there's no difficulty there for Vateros. So, approaching the end of a really competitive first half. It has been a battle right from the start. The game has been closed down so much, so many pressing movements in the middle of the field. Players getting no chance to settle on the ball.
That's what we said before the game, Joe, wasn't it? That midfield area. That's where all the game is won and lost, I think. The passing, the players in there. And it's been very tight, very tense. Not a lot of space. And lots of free kicks.
Kyriakos lofts it forward. Here's Purcell. Excellent control on the chest. Tried to thread that through for Bernard. That's a good reaction by Camazola, who's had a very good first half for Hearts.
It was an excellent game. Just very comfortable in that position.
2 minutes being shown by Mike Ritchie, the fourth official, to be added to the first half. And we've just started that period right now. What a key period it could be if either side could snatch something. Bernard pulling at Camazola. It's a free kick to Hearts. Hearts now determined, I'm sure, to hold this lead to the interval. Well, the real threat, the real challenger, are they not? Well, can be any doubt, can't be any doubt about that.
Absolutely, Joe. I think the chance has come along. I think that man has only made one save in 45 minutes from a flicky header from Dado Perso.
Hartley forward, Andrews did well, that's a very good pass. Here's Rickson, under pressure from Hartley, and then from Scatchell. That's a real feature of the Hearts play. They're giving none of these Rangers players any time in possession. Right throughout the side. The work ethic is immense. Now it's Ferguson trying to find space away from Simmons. Setting up Murray, who has been very quiet indeed in the first half. Hasn't been able to make runs like this very often. Making now for the byline. Nielsen will try and score them behind, and all Murray can do is keep the ball in play for the benefit of Camazola. Well, honours undoubtedly in the first half, surely mark to Hearts.
Yep, chances have come along and Hearts have taken them. Poor goal if you're a Rangers supporter that you've conceded again. I think better of the chances by far. Hearts, Bednar had another chance just after the goal on the far post. And Rangers, very few and far between efforts on Craig Gordon's goal.
So across it comes here to Fernando Rickson. Referee Kenny Clark has seen enough of the first half. His Hearts will have that vital edge. George Burley makes the dressing room, and he's every right to be very happy indeed with his team's performance in that first half. It certainly wasn't flowing and spectacular, but it was highly competitive and a very high energy and pace. And there was the goal scored by Romain Bednar from Paul Hartley's corner kick in 14 minutes. That's what separates these two sides. But for Rangers, they've got a lot of hard thinking to do. They change tactics frequently. They are still right against the cosh. It's Hearts 1, Rangers 0.
Thieves think your mobile is just like cash. And you could be advertising that you have one. But nowadays, just one call means a stolen phone can be rendered worthless. So don't advertise your mobile in public, and if it is stolen, call 08701 123 123.
NASN is the only TV channel in Europe dedicated to North American sports. NASN shows up to 15 live events a week, exclusive news, highlight shows, and classic games. NASN is Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, American ice hockey, college basketball, college football, and NASCAR. To subscribe, please call 08708 50 30 30 now or visit NASN.com.
If you need to borrow money, then you should talk to specialists. Someone who's on your side, who acts for you. Like Lisa at loans.co.uk.
Hi, Phil. This nice couple were paying over £1,000 every month on their unsecured credit agreements.
Could you help them?
Yes, even though they've been turned down in the past. We can reduce a customer's monthly outgoings by up to 50% every month.
So they're happy?
Very, very happy. We arranged a loan to clear their previous debts, and they get a 5-month break before they have to start making repayments.
Happy days.
If you're a homeowner and you need a loan, call loans.co.uk on 0800 856 7029.
I shouldn't be here. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Thanks to Cancer Research UK, thousands of people are here today who wouldn't have survived 10 years ago.
He shouldn't be here. But now doctors can cure cancers like his.
Our research into preventing, treating and curing cancer has enabled thousands of people to survive. We make important advances all the time.
My dad should be here.
But we still need to do much more. That's why it's so important you call 0800 035 9000 and donate £2 a month.
My mum should be here.
Please help our doctors and scientists find more ways to keep people here. Call 0800 035 9000 and donate just £2 a month to Cancer Research UK before the end of the break.
Bring the drama, passion, skill and action of football on Setanta Sports to your business and get your name in front of hundreds of thousands of our sports-minded viewers. we've got advertising packages tailored to suit your business needs. So to advertise on Setanta, simply call 0207 287 3388. Put your company into a winning position. Call 0207 287 3388.
Now out of South Harbour, what becomes a country boy? A truck shining like a pin. Here's a big bright boy named Willie McCoy, but back home they call him Slim. Now he's the toughest teak with a honoring streak. He's got a turbo diesel brute. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the whole loan ranger, and you don't mess around with him.
Hearts are halfway to an 8-point SPL lead over Celtic, who play later on, of course, and what would be, if they can maintain this scoreline, an 11-point advantage over today's opponents, Rangers. Roman Bednar with the only goal of the game so far. Craig Burley and Ian McCall are with me in the studio, and if we were to oversimplify here, how much, Craig, does it come down to two massively contrasting defensive performances?
Well, we spoke about the three centre-halves for Rangers before the game, and we spoke about Hearts having a back four that plays every week together, are solid. Alex chopping and changing, and he did do it during the first half, he did it before the game, and they just didn't defend properly, Rangers, at certain times in the first half. Lucky to go in, you have to say 1-0 with one or two Hearts chances. It's not been a great game, a lot of passion, great atmosphere, but you'd be hard to say Hearts didn't deserve to go in, certainly with some sort of lead at half-time as they did.
And you mentioned to me, Ian, when the goal went in against Hearts, it's a very tough fight to get back into the game when they get ahead.
Yeah, you know, I'll probably be proved wrong in the second half, but you seldom see teams score against Hearts that type of goal. You know, it's very poor defensively from Rangers' point of view. But the big difference is the defence. You know, Presley, Webster and Nielsen and Gordon have played together for a number of years. It's not just, you know, this season, whereas Rangers are chopping, changing. I mean, they've chopped and changed 3 times today already. So, you know, you really need the balance there to be right, and you need it to play week in, week out. They've not done that.
Rangers were the better team in the first 10 minutes, and Olivier Bernard, coming in off the left side, had a chance early on, Craig.
Well, this is a chance. I mean, Rangers were the better team, you're right. As Puzzle peels out, it's a great ball in. Nielsen's tucked in and he's right to do so. Camazola's let his man go. Bernard at the back post. He's got time. He's got to take this down in his chest. Surely control it and look to get a strike at goal. He doesn't. And for me, that typified Bernard's first half performance. I've not been impressed with him today. And to be honest with you, I've not been impressed with him when I've seen him at Rangers this season. I watched him play in England last season as well for Southampton. They let him go, and he's not doing a great deal for me today out here.
Hearts are getting great deliveries from the wide areas into the box. Here's a couple of them. The second one produced the goal. The first one produced a corner kick. And this was Rhys Scatchell testing out Ronald Vatros with a great ball in.
Marvellous crossover ball. Sometimes you don't expect him to get his foot round it, but he got a comfortable save. But he's put in 2 or 3 crosses, all of which could have been scored from. You know, it's the type of ball defender. Say it's coming around the back of them and bending into the forwards. On that occasion, they didn't get their goal, but they could have scored later on in the game.
And for the early part of the game, Rob, looking out from the studio here to the pitch, Rickson seemed to be doing almost a man-marking job on him. Now that has changed, but for the first 20 minutes of the game, Rickson didn't leave his side, but you only have to give him a split second and he's whipping in balls like that.
A big plus and a big minus on the only goal so far. The minus is applied to Marvin Andrews defensively. The plus is the quality of the ball in here from Cole Hartley.
Well, you know what? It is a plus. It's a great delivery, but you know, from Rangers' point of view, Marvin is never on the right side of the defender. He's on the wrong side. I think Rangers should maybe have somebody in the front space, as Hearts had when they were defending, but you see it there. I mean, he's nowhere near him, and it's a comfortable finish. You should not be able to stand and head the ball into the net from a corner kick.
But what a ball into the box. An absolutely fantastic cross from Paul Hartley. But Ian's right, his starting position was terrible, and he never recovered. Great header from Bednar.
And talking of great balls into the box, here's another one from Rudy Scatchell. How did he do this, and how did Roman Bednar not punish Rangers again?
Well, Craig and I were talking about it. When he got the ball here, I couldn't believe he was going to get his foot round that ball. But he's got it. It's a magnificent cross. Bednar up too early. You know, if he times that better, it's a goal, I think.
Oh, I mean, look, there's nobody within 3 or 4 yards of him. He heads that down.
He's got too much time maybe there almost.
Well, I think that's why Alec changed it, because they were getting so much time in the box. He had to change it and go back to back 4.
And just to add to all of that, a couple of penalty claims as well prior to the half-time whistle, both involving Julian Rodriguez, firstly on Camasola, then on Simmons.
Well, this one's not a penalty for me. It's a risky challenge, but he gets the ball. People claiming, the crowd were claiming, but this one you're going to see in a minute coming in, Ian, this looks like a penalty.
Well, Rodriguez his face looks guilty. I think he knows he's pushing. You can see his arms moving. I don't think there's a lot of contact, but it's a definite push. I think this is just a poor challenge, but he gets the ball. Maybe if that was in the middle of the pitch, you might have given a foul, but this one,
hands are up.
That's a penalty kick.
And you've got to say after that, it's not given. The ball drops to Camasola. It's a great chance. Middle of the goal, he doesn't connect with it, but you cannot lift your hands in the box. When Simmons was in front of him, he pushes him in the back, doesn't matter how much contact there was, he goes down, it's a penalty, they got away with it there.
Then Rodriguez went off, Ian, and possibly the fastest substitution in Scottish football history. He just went off so quickly, he seemed to know exactly what the script was.
Well, he's either two things. He's either trying to prove to everybody that he's fit and he doesn't want to come off, or he's a really good team player. The manager's made a change and he wants to go off the pitch. But I think they had to change it, the back three wasn't working.
Alex saying saying last week how great a defender Rodriguez is, and he's the one out of the three that goes off, and that surprised me as well. But he's not been looking steady in there, and Alec had to go from a back three to a back four.
They went back to the tried and tested of Kyriakis and Marvin Andrews, who performed well last season, particularly in games like this. So they went back to that. And
just briefly, Craig, is there a way back for Rangers?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's not been much in the teams, but defensively they've got to do it a lot better and a wee bit more quality in the ball. And I know it's difficult, both teams going at hammer and tongs in the midfield, but there's not much. You've got to get your foot in the ball and be brave, create chances, which they haven't done in the first half, Rangers, and defend better than they did at times in the first half.
Some noise out here, I'll tell you. The attendance inside Tynecastle has grown during the half-time interval. We've been joined by the Golden Lions parachute team dropping in on Gorgie. They've obviously heard how compelling the viewing is here. Second half is coming your way.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your old car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
Hello, my friends. My name is Uri. This is my home. It's very cozy, as you can see. And this is my pride and joy, my refrigerator. Maybe. Oh, perfect temperature. This crazy boy here is my homeboy Gurb. Cheers. And this is the best thing about my place. Peace and quiet.
Smirnoff Ice. Brrr.
Becomes a country boy, a truck shining like a pin. He's a big bright boy named Willie McCoy, but back home they call him Slim. Now he's tough as teak with a honoring streak. He's got a turbo diesel brute. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the whole loner ranger, and you don't mess around with him.
From SPL to the third, the Premiership to European action. Get stuck into the winner only inside Monday's Daily Record. Good morning.
If you need to borrow money, then you should talk to specialists. Someone who's on your side, who acts for you. Like Lisa at loans.co.uk.
Hi, Phil. This nice couple were paying over £1,000 every month on their unsecured credit agreements.
Could you help them?
Yes, even though they've been turned down in the past. We can reduce a customer's monthly outgoings by up to 50% every month.
So they're happy?
Very, very happy. We arranged a loan to clear their previous debts, and they get a 5-month break before they have to start making repayments.
Happy days.
If you're a homeowner and you need a loan, call loans.co.uk on 0800 856 7029.
Thieves think your mobile is just like cash. And you could be advertising that you have one. But nowadays, just one call means a stolen phone can be rendered worthless. So don't advertise your mobile in public, and if it is stolen, call 08701 123 123.
NASN is the only TV channel in Europe dedicated to North American sports. NASN shows up to 15 live events a week, exclusive news, highlight shows, and classic games. NASN is Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, American ice hockey, college basketball, college football, and NASCAR. To subscribe, please call 08708 50 30 30 now or visit NASN.com.
Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
This is SPL Live on Setanta Sports. No changes at half-time in either team. Not surprising, really. We have had 4 already, just 1 sub available to each manager for the whole of the second half. Hearts have led at half-time in 8 out of 8 SPL matches so far this season. And as you well know, they've won their first 7 and they're halfway towards another one. Rangers have got to be up for the fight. Here's the second half with Mark and Jock.
Thank you, Rob. So we're looking here at the 2 Rangers substitutes, Francis Jeffers and Thomas Buffal, who will get this second half underway. Half-time discussion's been about the Rangers defending, which really hasn't been good at all. They conceded 8 goals before today in 7 games, and last year it took them 17 matches to lose that number of goals. Another one to make it 9 this afternoon. So Buffal and Jeffers get us away. And are looking again quickly to see if there have been any tactical switches made by either side. Rangers have switched back from that 3-man central defence system to a 4-4-2. Here's Purcell, who'll be a very important player for Rangers, I suspect, in this second half. He has conceded a number of fouls in the match, and there is another. Spotting the ball very quickly to ensure no delay. The referee, Kenny Clark, has a word in his ear, and Kenny Clark really has been left with little option here but to take further action, because Dado Purcell indicating there was a dive. He's given the free kick, and the player there really is, to some extent, showing a marked lack of respect.
I think it's important that, just if you're in the Rangers team, to keep a cool head, keep your discipline, because once that goes and performance levels drop, it becomes a lot easier for the
Andrews
opposition.
Climb on Jankauskas. Remembering those changes that had to be made early in the match, Thomas Buffal came on for Rodriguez in a tactical alteration, and Jeffers came on for Nacho Novo because the Spaniard was injured early on. Alec McLeish demanding a great deal now. It's a very important 45 minutes for his team, for the whole season in fact. Going 11 points behind Hearts, and of course well behind Celtic also potentially. If we lose this match, it really would be intolerable for Alec McLeish.
McLeish will want this game played at a pretty fast rate of knots. Keep the tempo very much up.
Good interception there by Andrews. Here's Ferguson. Run hard forward. The interception by Nielsen. Camazzolo challenged strongly there, but too strongly by Murray. Ian Murray, of course, has been here frequently as a Hibs player in the Edinburgh Derby. This is, I would imagine, similar to him in terms of intensity. That's even more so. So there's Presley over the ball. Looking for Simmons. The long ball from Ferguson, measured for Purcell on the break. Buffal through the middle. Jeffers trying to support also. Coming late into the penalty box. The header away was by Nielsen. Neither of the Rangers players in the box, ones you would really want to see attacking crosses. Jeffers and Buffal, especially in the air. Free kick given against Murray once again. Nielsen goes down.
So Murray too keen again to try and get to the ball through a player. Pretty simple decision there. Nielsen. Just Murray climbing all over the top of him. Kenny Clark. A straightforward decision. I think if you're Rangers, I think you'd be disappointed. Rangers supporter, especially Alex McLeish, I think they'd be disappointed with the amount of efforts that have been thrown in Craig Gordon's goal.
Well, he's exerted himself in precisely once, I think, so far in the match.
Absolutely, and I think if you're going to get anything out of this game, that particular area of your performance needs to improve. That man needs to work a lot harder.
So Bernard with a throw. There's Purcell, turned away by Nielsen. I'm sure Hearts were thinking about a very tight opening 10 to 15 minutes in the second half, giving nothing away in that period. Camazola's headed away this time. I think George Bull has every right to thank Vladimir Romanov for Samuel Camazola.
Yeah, he's just settled in there. Looks like he's been a regular all season, but just been pitched in. Second game, I think.
Came on as sub at Inverness last
pretty much
week.
a natural in there. Caught up fault for one. Olivier Bernard chance, should we say, in the first half. Apart from that, it's had their pretty much full marks.
Liverpool playing it in. The header on there was by Murray. That's Purcell. A chance for Jeffers. Great block there inside the box by Jamie McAllister. Such an important tackle by the fullback. Andros Davatarus. Here's Ian Murray now for Rangers. Purcell's clear on the right, if he can be picked out. Murray still going forward, was held up there by Camazola, pulled back on the run.
It's a great chance from Murray, just driving forward, you need energy there. Yeah, clear pull from Camazola. Kenny Clark there just again. But this is a fantastic chance. One touch too many for me. Ball's down there, out. It should be taken well before there.
Was that a player out of confidence?
I don't know. Just taking a touch too much. It should be falling there. The ball's first touch out, and it should be a snapshot, giving Jamie McAllister the chance to get the block in.
Well, a wonderful chance for Rangers in the set piece. It could be Rickson, it could be Ferguson. So the wall going to retreat. Full 10 yards. Every Hearts player is back in the box to defend here. I think it might be knocked aside by Ferguson for Rickson. We'll soon see. Or perhaps not. Seniority takes over. Very disappointing free kick that from Ferguson. Here's Bernard all against his hand. Look at the time it took him there to deal with that. He's been fouled by Hartley, and he knows because he has fouled Hartley. It's a free kick to Hearts. What a waste of an attack for Rangers.
Absolutely waste there. Poor play from Olivier Bernard. He took it onto his weaker foot, his right foot. I think his first intentions would have been to get it onto his left foot so he can get the ball back into the box. It's just a poor effort that, straight into the wall. And out there, look, he to get back onto his left foot, but poor play.
Andrews nudged there by Jankowskis in the air. That's why the free kick has been taken so quickly by Rangers. Buffal's first touch, not good, but a very good recovery. Winning the ball back. Purcell's layoff, that's Murray. Retained possession well. Oh, that's good running by Murray, and Camazola will be the first player of the match to be shown the yellow card.
Good play again from Murray there. Using his energy, getting the ball into the space in front of him. Late tackle there from Camazola.
Well, it's 13 months since Kenny Clark conducted a Premier Division match without a yellow card. That was Celtic Motherwell, August 2004. Camazola, yellow card. There's really no complaint at all. So Bernard over the free kick. Rangers pushing players forward here. Bernard encouraged to get the ball into the box. Marvin Andrews signalling for the ball, but Buffal comes short and loses out very easily to Camazola. Breaking the ball post kindly for Hearts and for Simmons. The tackle came from Murray. Change of throw. It's a foul throw by Simmons, taking that from about 10 yards too far forward. And
Referee being consistent there. Throwing against Rangers there. The same situation. That's what we asked for from referees and linesmen.
That's good play again by Purcell. Here's Buffel. Tackled strongly by Brellier, and the siding tackle is penalised. Really is staccato football, this. Infringements all the time.
A little bit ragged now. Later challenges coming in from the Hearts midfield players.
Ferguson over the free kick. Andrews and Kyriakos are there with Purcell. One of those days, I would suggest, for Barry Ferguson so far. And here's Andrews, a chance to play this in. It's a good ball in, and very alert, sharp goalkeeping by Gordon.
Hopeful ball from Bernard Wright to the far post there. Great knockdown from Marvin Andrews. A little bit more of a challenge required in there.
Walter Smith has got the manager looking on, as Hartley has a first real opportunity. He's had the match to have a shot at goal.
And very speculative. We saw some cracking goals, but that 35, 40 yards out. That was up and over. Very bit quiet game. Paul Hartley's had. Used to seeing more dynamic runs into the box.
Well, I think he's under orders to make sure that midfield is solid and tight. And it's good to see that if that is the case, he can take these instructions and curb his natural tendencies and the team interests. Kyriakos has been penalised. Interesting too that there's more interest in the Hearts side on the part of Walter Smith than Rangers. Rangers have Barry Ferguson and Ian Murray, whereas the four Hearts players who are regulars now, two centre-backs, President Webster, the goalkeeper Gordon, Paul Hartley taking this free kick perhaps, and also candidates like Nielsen and McAllister. Very interesting times. Good header out by Andrews. It's Brellier. 23-year-old former Inter Milan player. Last season loan at Venezia. George Burley, I think, will be happy with the opening 10 minutes of the second half. It's been tight and competitive as he wanted.
That's what he's got throughout his side. He's got that competitive job. It's all over the park. Everybody fighting and tackling for each other.
Clear foul by Presley that time. Right over the top of Purcell. Now this does require a much better delivery for Rangers than Ferguson has provided so far in the match. The jostling has been watched by the referees, making that clear to all the players in that penalty area. Hearts pushing out towards the 18-yard line quite correctly. Well won by Presley. Rickson now with a throw for Rangers. Here's Jeffers setting it up for Ferguson. Miscue, the skipper. Push by Jeffers this time on Simmons. The Rangers really cannot get any passing movements going, can they?
Just can't. There's just no time on the ball. That's what we're saying. Hearts are fighting for each other all over the park, making the tackles, absolutely working the socks off for each other.
Paul Hartley now. It's a very good ball across, and Jankowskis is a threat there, all right. In between Rickson and Andrews. Rickson looks at Batteros and asks him why didn't he cut for that.
That's a fantastic delivery from Paul Hartley here, and this is a chance. Rickson just nudging Jankowskis underneath the ball there, but that is a great opportunity. He's up there looking at the ball. He's got all the goal to aim at. That is a chance.
Should the keeper have come? That's what Rickson seemed to think.
6 or 1, half a dozen, I think.
Well inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah. Plenty of pace on the ball though, Jock, as well. Travelling away from the goal.
Sketchel gets a word of instruction from his manager. He's on talking to Jankowskis about what alteration might be appropriate. Hearts now perhaps thinking about a second goal, which would make them extremely hard to catch if they're not hard enough right now. You'll remember, score in 14 minutes by Roman Bednar, who left the field shortly afterwards, injured. Jan Kazkas pushed over there by Murray. Seems to be more and more difficult for players to keep their arms down making these challenges.
I must admit that your natural instinct is to have your arms up when you're challenging players. If you're a striker, you're using your hands to feel where the defender is. And it's the same throughout the pitch. And Murray just losing a little bit of his composure there, trying to ball down.
Yeah, the referee can't really allow that to be demonstrated so obviously without taking some action. Skatchel gliding it in. Complete duff there, really. Back it comes now to Nielsen. Wasted ball forward. Not too many of these from Hearts in the match so far. Headed away was by Presley. Here's Ferguson. For Shaw wide on the right. Finding Bofal very effectively indeed. This is Namucci, who's had a very quiet time since moving from his original wing-back role, but he seemed to be much more involved, Mark.
He's got lots and lots of energy. I think a little bit more composure. I think just showing his inexperience there. Again, just trying to keep hold of the ball and not forcing the ball. That man there will be a worried man. Not a lot being created in that man's penalty box. I don't think he's had a save to make. Second half, he's had a header back across the goal. He's collected. And I think if you're Alex McLeish, I think you've got to be looking to try and do more in front of Craig Gordon.
Foul by Jan Kazkas on Kyriakos. Well, I suspect that George Burley's first target's been achieved to get to the hour mark with his lead intact. Oh, great pass from Brellier. Beautifully played to Skatchel. This is Jan Kazkas. Well, Hearts has certainly introduced some quality footballers to his ranks. Always a complaint when foreign players come in who really are not any better than what's immediately available in the Scottish scene. But that can be said for these Hearts players.
It's a good balance job. I think technically very good players, but they've also got that physical presence as well, as we've seen today. Jan Kazkas up front is a big lump. You've got the Scottish boys at the back. He'll be a happy man. And if it stays this way, I think he'll be delighted.
Well, if it stays this way, Hearts will have broken another record. First outside goal to win 8 league games in the trot at the start of the season. They'll also get very comfortably ahead in the SPL. Bernard's long ball out, met solidly by Webster. Well, the ball precisely where the team chasing the game don't want it to be in the area of midfield. This is Paul Hartley restoring some order. This is Skatchel. Joust there with Barry Ferguson. Rudy Skatchel played the entire season last season at left back, I understand.
That's a very accomplished player. Very confident on his left foot. We've seen the deliveries put in the first half. And just winning a free kick right in the corner. Fernando Rickson just arguing once too much here. Just picking a yellow card up, the second one of the game.
Yellow card for Rickson for dissent. Skatchel won that free kick. Very cheaply conceded yellow card, isn't it? I always feel getting a yellow card, it might be for a seething tackle rather than some mouth play.
Absolutely. I think that's why managers and coaches alike frustrated and to be sent for a card.
Danger here for Rangers. It's Hartley with a free kick. Punch out by Vaterus. Brellier tries to return that gently there to the path of Webster without success. Pressure off for Rangers. Remember, the man of the match competition. You'll win a signed shirt for the man of the match if your selection agrees with that of Mark Haley towards the end of the match. There's what you have to do to enter. The numbers to call, the text addresses to use, and we'll see if you can the lucky winner. A tough task ahead to decide who that should be, mind you. A lot of candidates out there. Jankauskas held up there by Andrews, and the striker is penalised. Perhaps the weakest part of his game. He's given away a lot of cheap fouls in the game.
Yeah, strong play from Marvin Andrews there, and Jankauskas just grabbing the arm in front of the referee. But, I think overall, I think he's had a very, very good game. Jankauskas put himself about. Very comfortable on the ball, as you'd expect.
Marshall helping it across, looking for Ian Murray. He's done well to reach that ahead of Camazola. Ball in, headed out by Webster. Here's Sketchel. Remember, the man who scored in each of the opening 7 league matches, trying to make it 8 in a row. If he does that, I suspect the points will be safe for Hearts. Rangers on the throw. Here's Fernando Rickson. Ferguson now has some space. Jankauskas back to McAllister. That's good play. Sketchel. Jankauskas. Hartley sprinting this time. Well, good credit there to Bernard. He matched that run instantly, spotted what was happening, and made sure that Hartley was not unaccompanied. So Rangers still looking for a formula which can give them some ascendancy over Hearts. They've never had it in a match, Mark, apart from the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long way back for Rangers at the moment. I think it's going to take something pretty spectacular or individual to get this Rangers team going at the moment. Defensively look very, very flat.
Good play by Simmons. Excellent play. That's Pascaccio. He's with Rickson. That's good defending by Rickson. Stood up well to that challenge. Didn't make any rash attempt to get the ball. Well, the Rangers players now looking at each other in some concern, because there's Purcell getting a bad ball forward from Namucci, expressing himself in that regard. Murray playing it forward, hopefully. It reaches Nielsen. Tackle came from Simmons. It's Bernard. Well, it's not the kind of service Jeffers wants. Great play again from Brellier. What a tidy midfield player he is.
There's an excellent game, Brellier. Sees the game very, very well. Always in the right position. Cutting everything that's positive.
The referee was, of course, there's no overruling the linesman with that throw. This is Jankauskas. Once again, Hearts are players steaming forward. One of them is Hartley. That's a very good tackle by Andrews. At the expense of a corner kick.
It's good play again though from Jankauskas there. Driving forward, good tackle from Marvin Andrews. Get in the space. Confident in his own ability to take that ball forward and win himself a corner. And keep the pressure in the Rangers at third.
Well, there's menace in all these deliveries from Hearts. Sketchel fighting it in. Lazarus taking no chances there. Up to Nielsen. The man with Buffel is Brellier, and he's been guilty of a little... Oh, he hasn't, but he's had his shirt pulled by Buffel. It's a free kick to Hearts.
Buffel with his hand on the shirt there. Yeah.
That's why.
Well, right on it again.
Well, McAllister with this free kick. It's well won by Andrews. He really has to win balls like that to earn his corn. Andrews outside left as Purcell breaks. He's done well, Andrews. There's Namucci. Jackson on the right. Namucci trying to go through the centre. Held up there by Simmons. And the free kick goes against Namucci. Illegal use of the arms again.
Initially good play from Namucci there, driving forward. It's just Simmons just getting in front of him, and then Namucci just dragging him back. And Kenny Clark again, right in that position where he's not missing a lot.
And if you're wondering why there aren't more substitutions in contemplation, I can tell you that each side has used 2 out of the 3. So I need to keep the third, I think, for injury problems later. Remember, Noble and Buffel have come on for Rangers. And McAllister and Simmons for Hearts. First half substitutions. That's Jankowskis. Buffel. Purcell. Murray looking for Buffel again. That's a good ball in. Who's coming in? Namucci late.
That's a super ball in there into a danger area, but no Rangers player in there. I think that's been a problem. It's a super ball in there. I think it's been a problem all afternoon for Rangers. Just a lack of drive from that central area.
Oh, there's a chance for, oh no, it's going to be a yellow card for Barry Ferguson for diving. Tackled by Hartley.
Yeah, went down very easily there, Barry Ferguson. Hartley knew what he was doing, just pulled his foot down.
Yes, he was rash initially, but checked out quickly
just
enough.
Checked out in time. Very, very close decision there, but as we've been saying all afternoon, referee, Kenny Clark, has never been further than 10 yards away from most of the decisions that have been needed to be made today.
I think it's very fair to say that they really, I reckon he's only had one key decision which may have gone wrong, and that was the push by Rodriguez in the first half, which should have been a Hearts penalty. But that apart, he's been absolutely first class. Credit when it's due to referees, and certainly due this afternoon. It's a very difficult game to handle too.
We don't give that out very freely, do we?
But he could have overreacted, couldn't he? We could have had 10 bookings in this match so far, which would have served no purpose at all. The angle ball reaches Purcell. What can he do against Nielsen? There's the answer. In goes Murray. Headed away by McAllister, and the offside flag up on the far side. That takes the strain off Hearts again.
A couple of players standing in offside positions, I think, as the second shot from Murray comes in here. And Namucci clearly offside.
Just a bit lazy, really, weren't they?
Yep. It's getting to that stage of the game, 70 minutes, where fatigue, forget.
Well, let's see what separates the teams.
A simple goal. That's what separates the team. Great finish, super delivery in there, very, very poor defended. We haven't seen many of those today. Attempts on goal. Both keepers have been pretty quiet this afternoon.
I see even lone players kiss the badge. Hartley across to McAllister. Long chase here for Simmons with Bernard. Back here from Bernard gives the throw to Hearts. That's a long time since Hearts beat Rangers here at Tynecastle. August 1998 by 2-1. Federico Nieto preparing to come on. The last throw of the dice for Alec McLeish. A bit early to go to the corner flag, surely, for Stephen Simmons. Down by Hartley. This is Presley. Well, Murray played the ball. There's no infringement there. It's a throw to Hearts.
Just whipping his leg round Stephen Presley there. I think some referees give them as free kicks.
Well, what they would have done, yeah. Jankowskis. Skacel. Looking for a shooting chance. Brixton denying him that opportunity. Jankowskis. Brellier is on the deck inside the box, and Jankowskis lofts that over the top, I'm sure, partly to pick up some time and allow his team to regroup. So, replacing that right foot. So, Rangers have withdrawn Hamed Namucci. Out comes the Argentinian Federico Nieto. Francis Jeffers is to drop into the midfield role. Nieto partners Purcell up front. So there's Nieto, who's from Almagro in Argentina. Had a very good scoring record last season, despite the fact his team was relegated. Scoring against teams like Boca Juniors.
First from 2 goals in midweek as well against Clyde. Looked very, very keen. Always keen to get a shot off. I think that's what Rangers have been lacking this afternoon.
He could certainly make himself a hero this afternoon to these Rangers fans who've travelled through. Populating the Roseborn stand. This is Marvin Andrews now for Rangers. Good header down by Nieto. That's Purcell. Had to check back. There's nowhere to go that direction. He's done well to get support from Rickson. That's for Buffel. Oh, he's done well. Promising for Rangers. Presney did well too. Presney was right on top of Craig Gordon, who reacted well. Better play from Rangers. Chase on here with Scatchell with Andrews. The long stride of Andrews carries him there safely.
Play here from Thomas Buffel, showed good strength. Hit Stephen Presley. Gordon with alert in front of Francis Jeffers there.
Brellier calmly down to Presley. That's Nielsen. Simmons trying to get in behind Bernard. Well, quarter of an hour remaining. Hearts have this precious lead, provided by the now absent Roman Bednar. Camazola. Tackled by Murray. Some defending now for Rangers to do. Cannot afford a slip up here. Robbie Nielsen lining up a long throw. I'm not sure who's going to have available for that as Jankowskis turns up belatedly. Throw again, which Nielsen can take. Good weapon this for Hearts in attack, this long throw from Nielsen at the corner flag. Jankowskis coming into the picture late to get in front of his marker. Here he comes short this time. Nowhere to go there against Murray. Jankowskis has stayed out there. Andrews with the clearing header. Buffel to Purcell. Oh, that's great play by Purcell. Terrific energy demonstrated again. Held up by Brellier. That man gets back once again.
Yeah, fantastic game, Brellier. Always sees the danger, always there to stop the danger. Gets the ball, gives it simple.
Came through a late fitness test, but now just occasionally shows some signs. He's struggling a bit. There's Buffel, and Nieto unable to control that driven cross.
Half a chance there from Nieto. Good ball in there from Marvin Andrews. Buffel getting there, good pullback. Nieto just a little bit keen, too far past the near post. Maybe to be a little bit later on that run. Well, that's the first time I think Rangers have had an effort on the goal in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was certainly wrong to say the Hearts are hanging on here. They're not doing that at all. They're still have a chance, as good a chance, I would suggest, of a second goal as Rangers have an equaliser. Jankowskis, for persistent fouling, is about to be yellow carded. Certainly has committed a number of infringements in the match.
He certainly has put himself about, made himself complete and utter nuisance. That's what you want if you're a good centre forward. That's what you're looking from. Your team's looking for you to be doing that all the time.
Madras well out of his goal to take this free kick. left-footed this time. A terrific dead ball kicking from Lazarus with both feet. Late challenge by Nieto. The victim was Andy Webster.
Keenan Eager substitute, chasing the ball there. Flashing into Still Webster.
Jay Gordon's had 5 shutouts in his 9 matches this season. Heading for number 6 if things stay like this. Very good return for the goalkeeper. Webster was careful and had great confidence in his goalkeeper. What understanding does for you.
Good play between the goalkeeper and centre half, as you'd expect. Been playing together now for a while.
Fernando Rickson now for Rangers. Under pressure from Scatchell. It's Camazola. Nielsen. Simmons to Camazola's good play from Hearts. Here's Jankowskis. Surely shot pull there by Kyriakos. The free kick's been given and Foucault clatters into McAllister after that decision had been given. There's about to be a reaction from McAllister, but the referee again to the point of trouble very quickly.
Brushing with the fell's hand, just catching McAllister on the knee. A late one, but common sense again there from Kenny Clark. Just having a quiet word.
There's overshot Jankowskis with that. Camazola, Scatchell. Still Hearts pushing Rangers back inside their own half. Frustration for Alec McLeish. Camazola turning it back, that's Andrews. So all on his own up front there. Has possession now though. He's run straight into Brellier.
Brellier there. Right in the right position again, seeing the danger.
Great pedigree he's got. Started his career at Marseille as a youth player. Then went into Milan, loaned out to Venezia. So he's played in France and Italy. And he's certainly learned his trade. Well, remember, this Man of the Match competition, you can win the signed shirt from the Man of the Match if you can produce the correct answer to join Mark Hateley's selection and then win the draw. So there is the numbers to call and the text addresses to use. And the best of luck to you for that, because I think it's a very difficult call this afternoon. Bosso. Ricardo Bosso is always a candidate for the Rangers Man of the Match because of his massive commitment and energy. Here's Olivier Bernard now with the throw. And off the head of Nielsen, who took a bang there in the process from the back of Bosso's head. Brellier's first time pass to Jankowskis. That's great play from Camazola. Hartley now further forward than he has been much of the match. Throw ball in though, easily picked up by Ferguson. Given away straight away to Brellier. Ferguson steps in again for Rangers. Never been a real space so Ferguson in the match, always being closed down rapidly by the Hearts midfield. This is Simmons, who's done well since coming on for Bednar. Offside against Scatchell. So the last change about to be made by Hearts. Lee Wallace, young fullback, coming on. It looks as though it's Samuel Camazola who's showing some signs of fatigue, may come off. This is Kershaw. Need some help. So much into his game. Kershaw has to set up for a throw. Yeah. Tell her to ask where the support was there.
What you're going to get from Dedo Perso. Non-stop commitment and effort. He showed that again today for his side.
They almost gave a chance for Ian Murray. Still no real threat for Craig Gordon. He hasn't had anything special in the match. That'll worry Alec McLeish. It's not as if he's saying, well, the Scotland goalkeeper's had a day out, he's made 6 terrific saves or whatever. It's just not had to happen, has it?
It's just been really no pattern to play to Rangers play today. No constant source of supply to the strikers. Where you see you're going to get your chances from. As I was saying before, it's going to take something special if Rangers to get anything from this game from an individual. There's just no constant supply of ball.
Of course, they're having to move wide so frequently to get involved. Here's Jeffers. That's a foul by Brellier. Muscled him off that unfairly. Another opportunity. Especially if Rangers have a left foot expert here, and Olivier Bernard must be the nearest to that. Here's a change Hearts are going to make. It's Samuel Camazola who's being withdrawn, and he's getting a thoroughly deserved standing ovation of the Hearts supporters. What a match he's had. I suggest that Vladimir Romanov knows something about the game.
Yeah, had an excellent game. He's caught out once in the first half. Bernard on the far post, but apart from that, he's had an excellent game. And we're delighted with his performance today.
18-year-old Lee Wallace goes on. Some tinkering, I think, with his side. Not exactly a direct replacement. Here's Bernard now over the set piece. Could make himself a Rangers hero here. Rickson may be involved also. Referee having words with Jankauskas and Kyriakos. Bernard leaving this to Rickson. Well, surely it wasn't the ball for a right-footed player to take, was it?
Well struck, straight down the goalkeeper's throat. Well taken.
There's Murray. Nieto didn't quite get what he wanted on that. There's Brellier. Simmons had to come back to remain onside. Less than 5 minutes left, plus stoppage time for Rangers to save this match and for Hearts to hang on to a very important victory. Scatchell's back healer. There's Wallace at full stretch. Referee not interested in Barry Ferguson's complaints there. And indeed, Wallace has gone to the left side of midfield. Nielsen with the clearance. Scatchell's layoff was careless. Space in the far side of Buffel, difficult ball to take. In goes McAllister and Perso. Throw goes to Hearts. And Thomas Buffel testing the referee's patience. Reaction.
Ball just waiting for the ball to go out. And got the decision going against him. Frustration.
McAllister into space. No Hearts player making a run in that direction. Only have one striker, unnatural striker on this side at the moment. That's Jankauskas, who's not the man to run into these gaps. Watch this header. In goes Andrews. Perso towards Jeffers. Good tackle by Nielsen. Andrews is charging forward. He's well out of position now as Jankauskas is brought down by Rickson. Oh, clear foul there, and Rickson has been booked, remember.
You've got to be careful there. There's no contact with the ball. Clear foul. It's been under Sarib. 8 challenges, 8 fouls. Shows he's put himself about. Gets hold of the ball, defends the ball, and gets his team free kicks. Delighted Hearts support today.
Well, the celebration's just beginning and getting close to the final whistle. Hearts still with the lead provided by Roman Bednar. I have to say, well, there's no way in which you could grudge Hearts a victory on the performance so far.
I think the chances have come along. I think about the better chances. There's not been a lot of chances throughout from either side, but I think Hearts have created the better chances. I'll be worried that the lack of effort's on goal again today. I think it's not been a game for the purist.
Nieto's gone in behind Presley. He's no support at all. He's on his own. Purser trying to get there. Oh, good play by Nieto. That's the chance for Jappers. The block was made by Nielsen. Wasn't handball. No, says the referee.
Well,
Nieto complaining bitterly. The entire stand behind Craig Gordon wanted a penalty.
Kenny Clark right in front of that. Nieto, fantastic work there. And that is a clear handball, whether it's intentional or not. It's handball, and the ball is going goal bound. Whether it's going to go in or be saved.
Well, it has to be intentional, but in that position, the lucky man, Nielsen, I think. Put it that way. Well, it's one very, very tight penalty decision for each side in the match. And the referee has said no on each occasion. Hold up here, attention, quiet.
9 times out of 10, Joe, I think the referee would have given that. I think the two decisions, the one Rodriguez push and that one, possibly got them both wrong.
Well, I must confess, with your arms that are stretched out like that, I think if the referee had seen it at the angle we've seen it, he might well have given it.
Yeah, it's goal bound. Travelling a great way to Notts. Nieto initially with a great work. It's a good strike, and for me, that's probably going to go in the back of the net.
Well, he didn't take his hand away, there's no doubt about that. I think he's a penalty, I must say.
Kenny Clark looking straight at it again.
Again, Kenny Clark had one glimpse from one angle. We've looked at it several times. Two minutes to be added on only. And we're inside these 2 minutes now as Rangers press for an equaliser. Gordon's made it. There was no infringement there. Covered well after the initial fumble.
Super play from Craig Gordon there. Makes your centre half knowing what your goalkeeper's coming to do. He's going to come and get that at all costs. And gets it, grabs it at the second attempt.
Well, throughout last season in the league, Rangers lost just 3 games. And they're about to lose their third in 8 for this season. Really bad news for Alec McLeish. In the next game in the San Siro, even although it'll be empty. Simmons quite happy to launch that into the stand. Here's Kyriakos. Route 1 now for Rangers. All the time they have left is for that. It's well won by Webster. Here's Scatchell. Well, the only thing Rangers may have succeeded in doing is preventing Scatchell making it 8 in 8 league games. Headed on by Jeppers. That's Purcell to Nieto. Back it comes to Nielsen. It's all scrappy and untidy as Scatchell tries to get the better of Andrews. Was he pushed by Andrews? No, says the referee, but it is a throw to Rangers. Rickson goes in to get the ball back, and Scatchell goes down. The referee, quite sensible in my view, lets things go on. And the final whistle goes. It's 8 straight victories for Hearts at the start of the season. A remarkable record, and there's jubilation all around Tynecastle. Ian Murray and Stephen Presley are not too happy at all with each other. I don't know what that's about, but they're very upset and angry. Julian Brellier did an outstanding match for Hearts, and these supporters have seldom known things so good. It's 1960 when they last won the league championship, but that is right on the cards now. They've proved it against one of the old firm. That was always the challenge they had. They've done it, and they've done it convincingly. There can be no argument they're worth the victory. You can talk about the penalty claim right at the end, the handball against Nielsen, but that overlooks the penalty claim Hearts had in the first half for the Rodriguez push. And over a piece, the better side won the match overall, I would suggest. And they really will celebrate long into the night here in Edinburgh this afternoon. And Rudy Scatchell didn't keep up his remarkable scoring record, but that doesn't seem to matter one iota to him, because a clean sheet for Craig Gordon means the goal from Roman Bednar has won the match for Hearts. It was just 14 minutes into the game when Vladimir Romanov watched that goal go in, the header by Bednar, and Rangers were unable to produce anything despite all the efforts on the touchline from Alec McLeish to change formations. They couldn't find a way through this resolute Hearts side. The chairman, George Fouts, looks on and applauds. These are happy times for Hearts, and there's no saying when this will end. Here's the goal which made all the difference. The cross from Hartley, the header from Bednar from 3 yards out. He didn't last much longer, Bednar, through injury, but it was good enough to win the match. And Hearts went on then to demonstrate their defensive capabilities, the resilience in midfield, and the attacking thrust. The final score: Hearts 1, Rangers 0.
Thieves think your mobile is just like cash. And you could be advertising that you have one. But nowadays, just one call means a stolen phone can be rendered worthless. So don't advertise your mobile in public, and if it is stolen, call 08701 123 123.
NASN is the only TV channel in Europe dedicated to North American sports. NASN shows up to 15 live events a week, exclusive news, highlight shows, and classic games. NASN is Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, American ice hockey, college basketball, college football, and NASCAR. To subscribe, please call 08708 50 30 30 now or visit NASN.com.
If you need to borrow money, then you should talk to specialists. Someone who's on your side, who acts for you. Like Lisa at loans.co.uk.
Hi, Phil. This nice couple were paying over £1,000 every month on their unsecured credit agreements.
Could you help them?
Yes, even though they've been turned down in the past. We can reduce a customer's monthly outgoings by up to 50% every month.
So they're happy?
Very, very happy. We arranged a loan to clear their previous debts, and they get a 5-month break before they have to start making repayments.
Happy days.
If you're a homeowner and you need a loan, call loans.co.uk on 0800 856 7029.
Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better. Hate something, change something. Hate something, change something, make something better.
Bring the drama, passion, skill and action of football on Setanta Sports to your business and get your name in front of hundreds of thousands of our sports-minded viewers. We've got advertising packages tailored to suit your business needs. So to advertise on Setanta, simply call 0207 287 3388. Put your company into a winning position. Call 0207 287 3388.
If you've been refused credit elsewhere, nobody tries harder than Welcome Car Finance to get you a newer car. Every year we approve thousands of people for car credit. Many of our top name cars are under 2 years old and all come with an independent quality and safety check and full MOT. Call Welcome Car Finance now and we'll give you at least £1,000 for your old car plus £250 cash back. Call Welcome Car Finance now on 0800 040 9000 or visit our website.
Now out of South of what becomes a country boy, a truck shining like a pin. Here's a big bright boy
Hearts have passed their biggest test of the season so far. Only goal from Roman Bednar. Great delivery from Paul Hartley. Poor defending from Rangers, but should there have been an equalising opportunity right on time? Handball by Robbie Nielsen, it appeared, to Francis Jeffers. Penalty not given. 1-0 Hearts, the final score at Tynecastle. And I think Alec McLeish still needs some persuading. That spot kick wasn't given, but that's history now. It's another win for Hearts. It's 8 out of 8, maximum 24, and that gives them an 8-point lead over Celtic, who of course play later at home to Inverness, and now 11 points. Just look at that between Hearts and Rangers in the league after only 8 games. Hearts skipper Stephen Pressley we're going to hear from in a couple of moments. He's with us now with Scott Booth.
Stephen, your first win against Rangers in a long time. Was that worth waiting for?
Of course it was. I think you can see by the reaction of our supporters just how much it meant for the football club today. You know, we'd had a fantastic start to the season, but I said that this would give us a big psychological lift, and I felt it did so today.
It's pretty incredible that it's taken 14 efforts in almost 7 years to get that win against Rangers.
Well, that's right. I've put during my time at the club, you know, we've put together some fantastic performances against them, but it's all about winning football matches, and we certainly did that today.
Of course, the early goal helps today, doesn't it?
Well, that's right, and we're very unfortunate to lose Roman, because I thought he was causing them all sorts of problems early doors with his pace and mobility, and I'm delighted that he scored the goal. And another great defensive performance as well. Well, I've said that, you know, if you don't lose goals, you don't lose games, and you know, that's 4 goals now. We've only lost in 8 games, and we pride ourselves on our defensive record, and hopefully we continue with that.
Well, the bubble certainly hasn't burst. That must give you more confidence from this to go on and to know that you can actually compete against the Old Firm right to the very end of the season.
Well, that's right, and also we equalled the club record, you know, from 1914, 1915 with, you know, it's an honour to equal that record that was set by those group of players, so it's a fantastic achievement by us so far.
There were also some great individual performances today, wasn't there?
Yes, but I thought, you know, as a spectacle, it wasn't a fantastic game of football. You know, it was a lot of blood and thunder, but you know, we kept our shape, we kept our discipline, and in the end, the 1 goal was enough.
And also a tribute to a lot of the players who were carrying knocks coming into this game.
Well, that's right. You know, I thought Julian in the middle of the park today done fantastically well. You know, he was struggling prior to today's game, but I thought he gave an absolute first-class performance today.
Well, his first-class performance did earn him the Bank of Scotland Man of the Match. He would like you to give him his bottle of champagne, and congratulations on that win today, Stephen.
Thank you. Okay, thanks very much.
As Stephen said, it wasn't a great spectacle, possibly, but what a great result for Hearts. It's only their 2nd win against Rangers in the last 30 meetings, and they become the first team out with the Old Firm since the Premier League came into being in 1975 to win their first 8 matches of the season. It's 24 points out of 24, and massive credit, I guess, to the defence, which has lost only 4 league goals in 8 games this season. Craig Burley and Ian McCall are with me in the studio. Craig, what do you make of that?
Well, I agree with Stephen Pressley. I didn't think it was a particularly good game, but think about the pressure out here for both sides. Hearts want to keep the run going. Rangers had to get a result of some sorts. So that probably altered the way the game was played a little bit. It was scrappy. I thought Stephen Pressley was excellent, along with Andy Webster, I have to say. Brelly, man of the match. Don't think he's a great passer.
And the gamble worked there. We saw him early on in the programme, yes, warming up. Was he fit enough to play? Well, he answered the question.
He didn't look as if he was moving particularly well. In the first 10 minutes of the game, he didn't start well, and I thought, oh, he's not going to last here. But he got through the game, he made tackles, his distribution wasn't great, but he read situations well, getting back. Rangers runners were coming from midfield, and he was there reading it. And you need that, you know, you've got your Hartleys going forward, and you've got your Scatchells, but you need a guy in there to graft. And he certainly deserved his man of the match today.
Ian, it's been a day of questions and trying to find some answers. One in the second half was, would Rangers have what it takes to hit back having gone 1 down here? What's the answer?
Well, I think it wasn't a great performance by Hearts, but it's a good team performance. And they invited Rangers on top of them, and as if to say, well, you know, we've got this back 4, we've got a great goalie, come and score against us. And they didn't look like scoring. Obviously we're going to look at the penalty. I think it was a Stonewall penalty kick, but they didn't look like creating anything from open play, and Hearts defended really well.
But it's not the first time that Hearts have not played particularly well this season, but they're getting results, and we keep saying, you look at them, they're strong, physically strong, they've got big lads. I thought Jankowski's up front, whilst never really looking like scoring. You know, some of his hold-up play and then going down for free kicks, luring the defender in, buying time for his team, certainly in the second half towards the end, was really experienced striking. When you consider Bednar went off as well and young Simmons had to come up alongside him, not natural from Fisas going off, Bednar going off, as I said. You know, it wasn't easy for Hearts either. They scored the goal, you know, and then some decent play in that half, in the first half, and said to Rangers, what have you got? And the answer was, to be honest with you, in terms of attacking, not a lot.
And when you see Hearts not firing on all cylinders, beating Rangers, the phrase, that's the sign of champions, comes to mind.
Well, that's what everybody says. It's about picking up points where you're not playing so well. But I can't remember a time in my time in Scottish football where there is a team where the old firm would probably take 5 or 6 players out of their team and put them in theirs. And that's testament to how good and how strong Hearts are looking.
Rangers looked better defensively after Rodriguez had gone off, and it was back to last season's partnership of Kyriakos and Andrews. Was that a gamble from Alec McLeish, which didn't pay off? He started with a back three.
I think there's going to be a lot of questions for Alec regarding, his defensive pairings, who he sees to be going in there. Fan's was a big sign in terms of where he's played. So was Rodriguez. Andrews is the one that probably defends better than most of them at this moment in time, although he was slack for the goal. And they've got a huge game coming up in midweek as well, so Alec's really under pressure. The back three didn't work, it just didn't work for them. When it went to a back four, it was a lot more comfortable.
Far more solid as a back four. But as a manager, I think it's hard not to play your new signings. You have to give them time.
You're also justifying your own taste in signings as well, aren't you? They're players you believe in, so you've surely got to play them.
Sure, but they're not allowed a bedding in time at Rangers or Celtic. The Zarowski at Celtic, who I think looks a super player. Now, after 3-4 games, he was being told he was a dud. He's a poor player. But Alec was wise enough today to go back to. They looked far more solid with Kyriakos and Andrews, who played all of last season, and maybe he's going to have to persevere with that. And these lads are going to have to go in the reserves and work their way back in the team.
And is there a problem for Rangers, Craig, in that defensive uncertainty which Rangers have had really off and on right from the start of the season, does that spread throughout the rest of the team, and uncertainty creeps into big players' performances as well?
I think Barry Ferguson's looking a frustrated player. I didn't think it was his best game today, but I think he's getting little or no help, to be honest with you, in there. I think, and Ian picked up on it during the game, Rickson has to go in there to help for Barry Ferguson to be at his best, and that's a problem for them at the moment.
Last season, Fernando Rickson was the best midfield player in Scotland. He was absolutely outstanding. Maybe they get Hutton back, put him in a right back. It's certainly not what playing a centre half at right back, but they need to find a right back to release Rickson in beside Ferguson to a potential excellent midfield pairing.
And it's impossible not to look at the contrast, isn't it, between the two teams here today at the back. Rangers chopping and changing and not really finding the answer. Well, Hearts had the answer all along. They've had it for a few seasons now.
Yeah. Well, we turned up here at the game, 9 o'clock this morning, and we knew what the Hearts back four was going to be. We turned up, and we weren't saying what's Hearts going to do, what are Hearts going to do, who are they going to play. We were saying, what are Rangers going to do? Is Andrews going to play? Are they going to play a 4? Are they going to play a 3? Who's going to play wide? Is Novo going to play a Jeff? To be honest with you, I don't think Alec knows at this moment in time, and he talked about the balance of his team, and I think that's his problem. There's no continuity in their performances, and it's not just today. They were poor last week against Kilmarnock and they won 3-0, but he's got problems there, and he's got to sort it quick because the pressure is on.
One of the buts about Hearts, Ian, is that they say they don't have strength and depth, and you would say in terms of quality they don't have a great strength and depth. Then you see Simmons and McAllister, two unsung players, coming on today and doing great jobs.
They did really good jobs today, but I agree with George Burley. I think they maybe need to add another 2 or 3 players at the break. The way they're going, I would suggest Romanov will do that.
And as we were saying pre-match, let's get it to January. Let's stay in touch. Let's stay top if we can, and then move on from there.
I'd be very surprised that Rangers were ahead of Hearts in January. I think Hearts are going to stay there, and if they can add some quality, then you've got to top serious title contenders.
So Hearts ended up winners, but Rangers started so well here. For the first 10 minutes, they were in charge, and they had a chance here at the back post for Olivier Bernard.
Yeah, the Rangers started the game the better side, I have to say. The first 10 minutes or so, they passed it well. He's got loads of time and space here because Robbie Nielsen's tucked in, as he should do. Camazola playing on the right for Hearts. He hasn't tracked Bernard. He's got to control that. He's got to show a bit of composure. He's an experienced player. He takes it on his chest, gets a good first touch, he gets a strike. To be honest with you, that's nothing. He doesn't get a head on it, he doesn't control it. I thought he was poor, to be honest, Bernard, but that was one of the few chances Rangers had in the first half, and it's, you know, how many times did Craig Gordon have a save to make? All right, towards the end, yes. In the first half, not a lot.
Is Bernard one who's been rushed into the team and he's actually not ready?
Well, I mean, personally, I don't think he looks fit. You know, albeit that was him quite far up the pitch here in his opposition box, but that's when they had a back three and he was a wing back. I don't think he looks fit enough to play in a game like that. You know, maybe if he's a lot fitter, the boy will be a better player, but to play for Glasgow Rangers in a big game like that, you've got to be able to get about the pitch.
Scatchell and Hartley score goals. They've 11 between them already this season. They also deliver quite beautifully from the wide areas. And this was Scatchell getting a great ball into the box, and it preceded, of course, the only goal of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player, isn't he? I mean, it's Jankowski. I think he should do more of this, Jankowski, and I think that's why he doesn't get enough goals. Yes, his general all-round plays pretty good, but down this left-hand side in the first half, Hearts caused Rangers a few problems. Once they found their footing in the game, they've got a bit of composure. Scatchell causing problems. Great delivery. Wasn't his day in terms of getting on the score sheet again, but his general performance and his work rate was great. And that was just a sign of what was to come from Hearts and the problems Rangers were going to have.
He's one of these wide players that doesn't need to beat a man. He just gets up and just whips around the fullback. Yeah, like Trevor Francis used to be. Never used to beat a man, but whipped the ball.
Was that in the old days, yeah?
That was in the old days, yeah.
Here's the goal, the only goal of the game from Roman Bednar. Now, Rangers had a problem here because Presley and Webster come up from the back. There's also Bednar and Jankowskis to think about, and Bednar found a lot of room here.
They may have a problem. They have got a few targets, Hearts, but you know, Marvin Andrews must get closer. He must be feeling for his man. Get his arm across. Just do not let him across you there. You see there, I mean, you should not be able to, I said before the game, at half-time, you should not be able to just stand and head the ball into the net. That seldom happens.
And presumably in these situations, it doesn't matter how many players the opposition have got in the box, you do your job.
Well, certainly. Craig was saying for a minute there I thought they were marking zonally, but it looks as if they were picking up. Nobody was close enough.
I wonder what George Burley thought of that. Let's find out with Scott Booth.
George, it wasn't a classic, but 8 out of 8. I see that you'd probably see that as a deserved victory today, though.
Yeah, it was a game where it was hampered with sort of players, you know, being injured and changing round, and yeah, I thought, you know, when we scored a goal, we had a really good spell, and we could have had a couple more after then. And then Roman Bednar got injured, and that was a big blow for us because he was looking very sharp, giving Rangers problems. And then we had to change it, and then Faces got injured as well, so we were a bit disrupted. So
did that upset the momentum a little bit?
It did, it definitely did. They're two very key players for us, but what this side has got is character, and we showed that we can not only score goals, we can defend as well. We had to do. I mean, Rangers was always going to put us under pressure, but we defended well, and thankfully got 3 points.
You're always going to score goals though when you get delivery like you're getting from Scatchell and Hartley, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Rudy was on fire the first 20 minutes, and he was, you know, really giving Rangers problems down the left, and Bednar was getting in behind him with his pace and strength, and scored a good goal. So that changed a wee bit once Roman went off. But you know, you've got to give the boys credit because a clean sheet and really battled, and that's what teamwork's about. We've still got a long way to go, but as I say, when you've got spirit and character, you know, anything's possible.
Were you surprised a little bit with the Rangers set-up, the 3-5-2?
A little bit. I mean, before the game, we noticed the 3 centre-halves, so we thought that was the way they would play. I think they may be worried about our two lads up front. So you know, we weren't going to change our system. We set our stall to, you know, a tight 4-4-2 and believed in the way we could play to win the game.
And you can see the fans enjoy that. They've waited a long time for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an incredible record. To win 8 in the trot in any league is magnificent, and you've got to have character, and we're so much in the early stages of building the squad. There's a long way to go. There's a lot of changes need to be done, but you know, we will keep battling away and knowing that hopefully we can keep improving.
Do you feel that the Hearts doubters are running scared a little bit at the moment?
No, I mean, win, lose or draw today, I said nothing will change. We're in the very early stages. We're not reached the quarter stage of the league. I still feel that we've got areas where we've got to work at, and it's not till the final quarter that we'll start looking, you know, to see is it possible to maybe finish high on third, which our aim was for.
But in the context of giving your players belief that they can stay there and they can win the title, that's got to be a big step for you.
I think the belief's there, the character's there. You know, that's why we won 8 in the trot, no matter who we played against. And at times we know that there's areas where we can be better. But you know, the spirit and you know the way that the team battle for each other, and that goes a long way in football.
A lot of individual performances out there as well, Julian Umbrelli in particular?
Well, Julia was touch and go. We had a fitness test at 8:30 this morning. He was still feeling his calf, but he's got a big heart, and you can't knock the boy. At times, you know, his passing can be better, but he's got great spirit, and all the other players love playing with him, and that's a hallmark of a very good team player.
George, well done today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
He does a nice line in understatement, does George Burley, but magnificent was the word he used there, and that just about sums up Hearts' start to the season. 8 SPL wins out of 8. It's all gone quiet behind us in the stands, but what a noise during the course of this Saturday lunchtime as Hearts won by 1-0 against Rangers. Craig Burley and Ian McCall are still with me, and I just wonder, Craig, if the tone of George, your Uncle George, is changing there a little bit. It's not so much now, give us time, a couple of years down the line we might challenge the Old Firm. I think, is he now beginning to think, we've beaten Rangers, Celtic coming up in a few weeks' time?
I still think he needs players in, and I think he keeps saying that to people, and he knows that. And you know, he knows he needs to strengthen certain areas. The right-hand side's a bit of a problem. Cam Mazzola played today. He was okay. He hasn't played many games. I'm not sure if George really convinced he's the man to come in there. So he will always be harping on about strengthening his squad. Managers always do. I don't see either Rangers or Celtic at the moment been a whole lot better than Hearts, so I don't see why they can't stay up there. The one thing they haven't had, and we spoke it before the game, is injuries. They've now got a couple of injuries, so how are they going to respond from that? Because they've had a settled, very, very settled 11 players, haven't they?
I think the next thing they've got to do is Alec Ferguson and Jim McLean, two great managers, always said to win titles you've got to win in Glasgow, and that's the next test for them. You know, if they pass that, well, you know what? They've got a real chance.
Craig mentioned injuries. We'll wait and see how Bednar and Fisas are after their knocks today. There's also things like suspension. I mean, Jankauskas picks up bookings because of the way he plays. Hearts are going to be tested more strictly maybe than they have been so far.
Well, definitely, but I think George is wanting to get to the window, and you know, usually suspensions kick in around January, February, March, so hopefully he'll get there and get his players in. But you know, Bednar went off today. He doesn't look a player as if he's going to try and run off a knock, I've got to say. He certainly is a talented player, but he didn't look as if he was badly injured when he went off, so maybe they've got to work on him, you know, psychologically rather than physically.
And it sounds like great spirit as well in the Hearts camp, Craig, when George there speaks about Briley and how much the other players appreciate him and what he does.
And George picked up on the point that I made about his passing. It's not the greatest, but he does other jobs and he does them well. You know, he breaks play up. You know, he starts Hartley going. Hartley's got to have somebody protecting him because he's all over the place again today. Matt said he was quiet. I didn't think he was quiet. Okay, he didn't get on the score sheet, but some of his runs were great. His work rate, his passing. And Brelly needs to sit in there to protect him. And he's obviously a player that George thinks a lot of, and it was very important they got him fit to play in this game today.
We've heard from the winning manager. Let's now hear from the losing gaffer, Rangers boss Alec McLeish with Scott.
Alec, 11 points behind the leaders and 3 league defeats out of 8. It doesn't make for good reading, does it?
Doesn't, no.
What do you feel was the problem today? Initially, you went for 3-5-2 and then changed your formation.
Yeah. To be honest, Scott, I've been looking for a wee bit of a spark from the players in recent weeks. I don't think we played that well. Porto game apart, you know, where I think we gave a great performance that night. We've been looking for a spark and trying to get you know, some football played. We tried to stretch Hearts with the 2 wing backs. Didn't quite materialise, you know, because of 1 or 2 little problems in midfield. So I changed it, and you know, but we had the bodies in there to stop the goal. We certainly had the presence. We did think about the presence of Bednar and Jankauskas, and that was also in my thoughts for the 3. But we changed it, and we'd too little too late in the second half.
Having gone back to the 4-4-2, do you now feel that is your best formation?
Well, I've always been wary of going back to 3, to be honest. And it did take a lot of deliberation over the week. I hinted to 1 or 2 players last weekend that I was thinking about it, get their heads around it. And they were all quite positive about it. But you know, when you look around, you don't see many teams perfecting the 3 at the back. CSKA maybe been a fantastic exception over the past few years. So anyway, we should have gave them more problems than we did. But what I will say is that when you go 3 against 2 forwards and you let the forwards come off you the whole of the first half, then the system is going to have trouble.
And of course, also when you give goals away cheaply from corner kicks, that doesn't help also.
Yeah, we're going to, obviously the in-swinging corners caused us some problems in recent weeks, and we're going to have to do something different about it now and maybe get a bigger presence in there. And because we're allowing people to get the drop on us. Marvin and Bednar got a wee start on him, which got him across Marvin. And he's, maybe got to be more clever in terms of letting their men get in front of them like that.
You came more into it in the second half, but didn't really trouble Craig Gordon and goal too much. Was that disappointing?
Not too many shots on goal. Maybe you've got to credit Hearts for not allowing us to do that and putting blocks up in front of Craig Gordon. But there's not many of my players renowned for long range shooting. The stuff that we had was all around the penalty box, and maybe somebody take a wee chance in the box with one or two. Marvin's header across the box, somebody get across the goalkeeper. You're looking for a classic centre forward movement there of a striker getting across, and he takes the ball cleanly without a challenge. These kind of things are disappointing.
Now you've seen the appeals for penalties in that game. What do you make of them?
Well, the grey area of the handball, I've always said it. If it hits your hand, I've always argued that when a ball hits somebody's hand and it's on its way to the net, it's a penalty. Whether the guy didn't intentionally do it or not, I've always been a believer that your hand is not part of football, your arm's not part of playing the game of football. And if you make contact with a ball that stops a ball going into the box with a very good cross or a dangerous cross, and B, if it's going into the net.
And Rodriguez, could have that been a penalty also?
Well, it looked as if he had made contact with Jankowskis, or I don't know which striker it was in the box. So
from that point of view, could it be seen as even Stevens?
Yeah, but I don't think Kenny's seen the Jankowskis one, to be honest. But I'm sure he had a clear picture of the Jeffers one. So if you see it, then I think you've got to give it. But as I said, it's a grey area because they'll say ball played the hand rather than the other way around.
What impact will this defeat have on a massive game for you coming up?
You'll not wait and see.
Do you feel your players are ready for it?
I've no doubts they'll be ready for it. There's a few players played every game, guys like Ian Murray, Barry, and it's a hard task for them. There's a few of my players underachieved today, were beaten in the little battles, too many, and it's not good enough. We need Rangers players to be winning the battles in every single game.
And having seen that from a formation point of view, does that make your mind up going towards Wednesday?
Possibly.
Alec, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Well, it was a result pre-match which Alec McLeish didn't want to contemplate. He'll have to now, because when he looks at the SPL table, it tells him that Rangers have dropped 11 points behind Hearts after only 11 games. Let's pick up our look back on the key moments of the game. And of course, Hearts, having gone ahead, could very quickly have made it 2-0 with Bednar getting a second opportunity. And again, it's a wonder ball in this from Scatchell.
Yeah, we said this in the first half. I mean, we didn't think he was going to be able to get the ball in. Gets his foot round it brilliantly. And Bednar just mistimed his jump. I mean, I think if he jumps just a little bit, a fraction later, he's up too early, that's a goal. And all the paces on the box, we've just got to direct it.
And you wondered if they were going to rue that missed opportunity, Rob, at that point, because it was, a fantastic ball in, as Ian said. And George is right, he was Scatchell on fire in the first half. But Bednar, disappointed to see him going off. It was a great goal from his point of view, but it should have been a brace from there.
Late in the first half, 2 penalty claims for Hearts and a chance for Kamatsola to add to their 1-goal lead. What did you think of these, Craig?
Well, this is not a penalty. It's risky, as I said at half time. It is very risky. It's not a penalty, there's no doubt about this. This one is, for me, it wasn't Jankowskis. I think Alec was getting mixed up. The heat of the moment. It's Simmons, it's Rodriguez round the back end. He puts his hands on him. Kamatsola has a shot. Kenny Clark's on the spot for me there. And that's not a penalty.
No, that's just a daft challenge, but said that you see him push him. Now, it doesn't matter if the contact's minimal. You're going to go down if you're pushing the box. That was a penalty kick, but I tell you what, it was a decent chance Kamatsola had.
Into the second half, well, for me, Rangers huffed and puffed in terms of trying to force Craig Gordon into some serious action. There was an opportunity for Franny Jeffers here who appeared to take far too long, although it was a good block from Jamie McAllister.
It was, but do you not slip him in? I mean, who's the player in support? Is it Murray? Yeah, just play him in, There's a few things that fell to Jeffers today. He wasn't quite sharp enough in the box where it matters. You see that if he slips in, he's got a chance of scoring a goal.
Thomas Buffel starting to find 1 or 2 holes at the back for Hearts, but Hearts certainly defended over the piece absolutely superbly, and Rangers just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I just felt Hearts were dropping off a little bit too deep, towards the end, which is understandable. You're winning. Buffalo does well here, and it's the mystery man, Nieto. We've hardly ever seen him when he comes on, and it's a finish from a man that's not played much football. But you know, they're half chances. You know, they're not great chances. They're not carving Hearts open, as we said. Hearts defensively were very good, and Rangers didn't have the ideas and the awareness to get in behind, and the quality really to cause Hearts, you know, that many problems.
No, they didn't create a clear-cut chance in the last third of the field the whole game.
Massive credit to Hearts, of course, for that.
I agree with Craig. There was a period in the second half, a 10-15 minute period, when they were retreating a little bit too deep, you know, allowing Rangers to put too much easy possession. But really, to play 90 minutes against Glasgow Rangers and not really concede a decent chance, they must have done well.
You could argue whether, I'm sure you are arguing, whether Rangers deserve to take a point from this or not, but I don't think there can be really too much argument that this should have been a penalty.
It was Stephen Presley's only mistake of the game. It's Nieto, he does well. The ball finds its way back to Jeffers. That's goal bound, and that is a penalty. When we see it from the next angle, this one, there's no doubt in my mind it's a penalty. And you know, did it even itself out from first half to second? Then I have to say it probably did.
But you know, you've got to give that.
Yeah.
Just because you don't give one in the first half, you still got to give that.
It's not
that
about
ball
evening out, is it? It's about whether there's a penalty or not.
That ball's going in the net, there's no doubt.
You know, but you wonder if that's the way referees think. But from Alec McLeish's point of view, it wasn't a great game, but that might just have grabbed him a point. From Hearts' point of view, you know, a wee bit of luck in terms of continuing with their victories 8 in a row. But there's no doubt it was a penalty in my mind, and that late in the game, had they scored it, they'd been definitely winning.
Well, Hibs, Aberdeen and Celtic will all have been wanting that to be a penalty, because Hearts right now are running away with it.
I think Alec was very honest, wasn't he, in his assessment at the end. Does he feel let down by players today?
Well, I think so. I mean, it doesn't matter what system you put out there. The players have to perform, and Ian was mentioning it to me during the first half and the second half, that any second ball in the midfield, they were second to it. Hartley was in there, Brellier was in there, Scatchell was getting, and they weren't. And as Alex said in his interview, Hearts strikers coming off and not been followed by a centre half when you've got a sweeper behind you or a third centre back, letting people coming off and turning, it's not good enough. And he's got some big decisions to make.
In the SPL, it's just so crucial to get to the breakdown of the ball first. I would say Hearts won 80% of the second balls today, and that's what won them the game.
Let's have a look again at the Bank of Scotland Premier League table after this momentous result. Hearts 24, Celtic on 16 in action shortly. Rangers are 11 points adrift of the leaders. That's the way the SPL looks after the biggest match of the season so far. The other 5 SPL games are 3 o'clock kickoffs, so just over 5 minutes away. Livingston, looking to kickstart their league season, are at Pittodrie. Celtic, well, they have to win, don't they, against Inverness, who tend not to make it easy. It's Dunfermline against Dundee United at East End Park. It's Kilmarnock against Falkirk at Rugby Park. And at Fir Park, it's Motherwell against Hibs. Today's competition winner, man of the match, of course, was Julian Brellier, the Hearts midfielder. And Scott Shields from Edinburgh won the competition, and he will pick up the prize, which is a signed Julian Brellier Hearts top. Tomorrow from us looks like this. SPL highlights from 2 o'clock, 2.5 hours of it tomorrow afternoon. Craig Burley's looking a little bit surprised about that. A rerun of what happened here, plus highlights of all the 3 o'clock kickoffs as well. Tomorrow from 2 o'clock, Setanta Sports 1. Well, it's interesting just to reflect on some of Alec McLeish's after-match comments. That was a very interesting interview he gave here. One of the things he said was that his 3 defenders let Hearts' front 2 come off them the whole of the first half. That's a criticism, isn't it? That's a strong criticism.
Well, I mean, I think you have to. You've got to bring players in. You've got to be honest with them. If they're not, he needs them to perform. A manager needs their players to perform. You think about the game he's got coming up in midweek into Milan. If you allow forwards and midfielders that time and space at that level of that quality, they'll absolutely hammer you. I mean, this is, you know, it's basic defending. You know, it's a good ball in from Hartley, granted, and it's a fantastic ball in. But there's nobody in front, as Ian said. I mean, it's just basic stuff, and you know, when that happens, you get your back to the wall.
Certainly when you're playing with 3 centre-backs. And I don't think there's one of them wants to step off the game, so there's 3 centre-backs. You've got to go tight. I mean, you don't overcover and you don't go all the way into the opposing half, but you've got to get close to them. And you know, and if they play the ball back the way, you've done your job.
Is there one defender that Alec McLeish is completely happy with at the moment on his books?
No, I've got to say no.
And he talks also, Craig, about looking for the spark. Now, great if you can find it, but without a magic wand,
well, Buffel's one was supposed to be the spark, wasn't he? For 2.3 coming in, he's the playmaker, or supposed to be. He finds himself on the bench half the time. never doing enough for me. All right, it did a couple of bits and pieces when he came on, but it wasn't great. And you know, he's got to really sort it out and quickly, bearing in mind who they're playing.
And it's the San Siro on Wednesday for Rangers. It's not going to be easy, is
an
it?
empty San Siro. But it's going to be a difficult game for them. We wish them well. We really hope they get a result. It's going to be a very difficult match for them, though.
Thanks a lot to Craig Burley and to Ian McCall for joining me here. It's been quite an afternoon, a momentous result in the SPL. Hearts have made it 8 out of 8 in the league so far and passed the biggest test that's been put their way up till now. Bye for now.
Back in time, you're in suspension. They are caught, you cannot hide. It's all inside easily.